we're still mighty laggy. What is good, people? It is King of Anime podcast. With myself, Sasuke the Savage, and my co-host, Everything Animated. We're probably just want to turn off.
How are you?
Oh, laggy. It's the cost of having an old ass PC, so we'll probably be Celeste for today. That's probably how we'll keep things.
All right, Satsuki's gonna be a recluse today.
Yeah. But how's your week been? Yeah.
It's been pretty good. This past weekend, I was part of a dodgeball tournament. My lovely crowd, the crew, Cactus Dodgeball League. I got second place again. Our team did.
Okay.
I feel like this is, no, in fact, it is the fifth time that I've been a part of a team that's gone all the way to the finals and lost. But hey, I look at it as I'm a difference maker. If I can be on a team and somehow make it to the finals, must be doing something right.
True enough.
Yeah, but one of these days I'll get over that hump. I might have to pull a Kevin Durant and get onto the
to super team.
You go to super team just so that I can say I did it. I won.
True enough. We had Decrepit Storm in the chat. What up? What is good, Decrepit Storm? Again, appreciate your patronage. Do we have that in our description? I don't even know if we have that in our description, but we'll have it in our description. Our Patreon and whatnot, so you guys can check that out. But as for myself, I plan to probably Wednesday is the day I'll go. I plan to watch Barbie. There's been a lot of talk about Barbie and
Godsky.
Yes.
Why?
Why would I not go to the #1 movie in America right now?
Oh, touche. But I mean, I don't know. Barbie?
Number one movie in America. I already have my outfit planned out. So I
have to see it.
You're gonna like it. Well, you're gonna like the shirt. I won't say what it is, what the shirt is, because the shirt is gonna be like the seller. But I was like browsing on Amazon just for some stuff, because you know how this is how it is for me. I was going to get one thing on Amazon, and they always hit you with if you get this many items, you can get the free shipping. And I was like, I really want the free shipping. So I just was going through some things that I didn't really need necessarily, but things that I may have wanted. And I saw some glasses that I really liked that looked really cool. So I said, oh, let me get that. Because I was just going to get this shampoo. And so to get the free shipping, I was like, let me get these glasses. And then I thought about it. I was like, this would go real good with the outfit, because they have it has a pink lens. And I was like, this would go really good if I had an outfit to see Barbie, have like my pink outfit on or whatever. So got those glasses, got the shampoo, and then I was like, what shirt should I wear with this? And then I had a brilliant idea as to what I was going to wear, what I was going to get for my shirt. I won't say what it is exactly, but I think you'll like it once you see it.
Okay. That's
all I'll say. But yeah, Barbie.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, Barbie.
It's not just gonna be you, is it?
Well, no, I thought about going just by myself, but I want to take a picture, and I don't want to like have somebody be like, yo, take a picture for me, because I was thinking about going earlier, but no, I'm going to see it with my brother. So we're going to be Barbie boys, or we're going to be Ken dolls, as intended.
You're going to have to tell me how many times or at one point in the movie, do they sing that damn Aqua song? I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
I'll let
Because
you know.
they play that song.
Well, so far people have said good things about it. Well, I've also seen some bad things too, but it's been pretty mixed. So I'm going in there with the intention of having fun. You know, being with my brother there, even if it's a bad movie per se, it'd be fun to make fun of at least. So
yeah, right. Funny you should mention that. Last night, me and my girlfriend watched the very first original Twilight movie, and all we did was just make fun of it the whole time. Like, it's crazy to think that at some point, like, those movies were like a year-round thing, and everybody would talk so much about it. Team Jacob, Team Edward.
I remember that.
He's hot. Yeah,
that was like a middle school thing for me.
Yeah, that was after high school for me. I never even heard of Twilight, except I had a friend whose wife was like waiting at night for a book, and it was the last book in the series, Breaking Dawn or whatever it was called. And I was like, "What is this book series?" And she's like, "Oh, you never heard? It's the Twilight." And the funny thing is, the writer of those books is from Arizona.
Oh,
so that's kind of cool notoriety. She's doing very well for herself. Rumor is they're gonna reboot the series into like an actual like TV series show, because I guess, well, the movies were much they weren't good. So I mean, I think with a series, you can actually take the time to establish the relationship and the love, and also get better actors, ones that don't have their eyes crossed when they're getting their blood sucked. And I don't know, just all those actors in that movie were just so bad. And yeah, so every Friday for, I guess, 4 more weeks, me and my girlfriend are just going to watch all the Twilight movies. And I've only watched the first 2 ever, because after the second one, New Moon, I said I was never going to watch anymore. And she was like, "But baby," I'm like, "No." Movies are horrible.
Well, funny you have a set schedule to watch bad movies on Friday, because Tuesday, we have this thing going on my server where we call it Tubi Tuesdays, where we watch Tubi movies. And if you're not familiar with Tubi movies, at least the Tubi original movies, it's done by a lot of amateur actors, like amateur directors and stuff. And it's really unpolished, bad movies. I'm talking CGI that looks like it should never be released. We watched 2 movies not yesterday. What day was that? Just Saturday, I think. Yeah, I think it was Saturday. We watched some movies. We watched this movie called Shark Side of the Moon. Horrible.
Oh my god.
And we watched another movie. Bad. Yeah. We watched another movie called The PPP Loan. That movie actually looked well shot and everything. That movie looked like it had a budget, ironically, because you would think the Shark Side of the Moon one would have a budget since it's sci-fi, but the PPP Loan one had it just looked better, but it also just wasn't good. They had a reference to Friday. PPP Loan, like triple
PPP loan.
Yes.
It's okay. It had a reference to Friday.
Yeah, there was a part where there's this guy who's basically Debo from Friday. I think they even they refer to him as Debo's son or something like that.
Oh my god.
They had like the same music. Yeah, they had the same music like that. You know how Debo has like this variation of Jaws playing whenever he shows up. Like they had something going on with that. And instead of him terrorizing his neighborhood on a bike, he was doing it on, you remember those old Segway things that people were on like 2015?
Yeah, the Segways, I feel like they were supposed to be much more popular than what they were, and they never took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those.
He was on one of those. It was so stupid because he would go so slow in it. There's a chase scene where he's going after this guy, and instead of just running after the guy, he's about to jog after him. He stops and then goes on the Segway and hawks him down on that and catches up somehow. It's so dumb.
It definitely sounds like, and sometimes it's fun to watch bad movies. Not everything has to be like miserable whenever you watch a bad movie. Sometimes you just look at a movie, just poke fun at it, and it can be fun. Yeah. I love that.
That's what we're going to do for Tubi Tuesdays, though. So anybody in my server is free to join a VC. It's not going to be hosted by me. It's going to be hosted by somebody else. So we're at the mercy of their schedule. But it's probably going to happen around this time, like late night. Again, if anybody's in my server, just feel welcome to be in the VC. When we're all in the VC, we'll probably be unmuted. We'll be talking during the movie because it's fun to make fun of. So yeah. What is good, Adele, Myra? Are you talking about Twilight? We were talking about Twilight. Or were you team Jacob or team? What was the other guy's? What's the other guy's name?
Edward. Edward's the vampire.
Yeah,
and Jacob is the werewolf. And that is a good question. Adele, what team were you on? I feel like, I don't know. I'm sure if she's still listening, she'll say it.
Yeah, that, like I said, that was the thing in middle school. So it was like a whole bunch of girls that were doing that team Edward, team Jacob thing. I never watched any of the Twilight movies, so I just heard how people didn't like them.
I might do a deep dive once I watch all these movies and do kind of like a super, she was team Jacob. That makes sense. That makes sense. I might do a deep dive and just kind of discuss just how bad these movies were and just get some good clips, because there are some clips that are worthy of just like memeing just within itself. The whole Edward saving Bella's life, like sucking the venom out, and he's just like, it just looks so bad. And Bella, she just got her eyes crossed and just going, Edward.
Who would have ever thought that Edward, a decade later, would be Batman?
I know, right? That's the thing. And me and my girlfriend were talking about this last night. Is that both of them have done a lot better since that movie. Robert Pattinson's doing well. The girl that played Bella, I think her name's not Kirsten Dunst. Krista Ellie. I forget her name. Anyway, they were dating in real life, and then they broke up because she was caught in the act. That's a little bit of true story right there. But they're both separate, doing their own things, and she was nominated for like an Oscar for some movie I've never seen. She's like doing movies, but it's a lot of movies I've never seen. So they're both doing great. One's Batman, one's Lighthouse. The other, I think she was like, what was it? The Huntsman, Snow White and the Huntsman. I think she was in that. You remember that movie or ever heard of that movie?
I feel like I have. I feel like I've seen
it was
on a commercial or something one time.
Yeah, they advertised that movie so heavy, and I feel like it bombed just because it was like, what is this movie about Snow White? And for some reason, like, she's a badass and she's fighting and stuff. I never saw it myself, but I heard it did really bad.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
QRW6 says, what up, KOA? Have been watching Dororo, but in dub, brought back those old times, but I'll let y'all know how it feels during Shark Boy again. Yeah, I remember loving that anime up until Shark Boy arc, and that's kind of where things fell apart. The beginning of the end, so to speak.
It got really kind of weird around that part where they focused way too long on this shark person, Shark Boy, just like loving these sharks, and then he like fused with the sharks. I don't know. It was just weird.
Midnight Gym Lord in the chat says werewolves all day, every day. Vampires are overrated. I've always been more of a
All right.
vampire guy. I don't know. I never saw werewolves as that cool as a kid. But at the same
They have
time,
their
vampires and their weaknesses, they do kind of look weak. It's like, damn, you're weak against garlic. You're weak against sunlight. You're weak against what else are they weak against?
they're weak. They're such a weird kind of creature. Like, if you put a stake through their heart while they're asleep, they're dead. A cross, any kind of cross, it affects them. Holy water definitely messes with them. Garlic, yes. Sunlight is like the ultimate killer, even though in Twilight they sparkle in the sun for some reason. But werewolves, I feel like, only have one weakness, and that's silver bullet. Like, a silver bullet's the only thing that can kill a werewolf. The only bad thing about being a werewolf is you can't control it. You know, you're literally like the Incredible Hulk, where if it's a full moon, fuck it, you're gonna turn whether you want to or not. But if you're a vampire, you would at least know, okay, this is what time the sun comes up. This is what I have to do. Did you know that vampires have a weird rule where they can't go into your house unless you invite them in?
I did not know about that. I didn't know there was vampire etiquette.
There really is. Like, it's weird. It's weird folklore where a vampire cannot go into your house unless you invite them in, which is weird because, like, that means that if they want to get to you, all they'll do is just stand outside your house going, "Please let me in. I got presents."
So,
and this is
so you're telling me whenever I get a knock on my door, the two things I need to be worried about are Jehovah Witnesses, or three things I should say: Jehovah Witnesses, random door-to-door sellers, and vampires.
Yeah, pretty much. And do not ever invite them in, because that's the only way that they'll come in. And I saw Renfield, the most recent vampire movie, the one with Nicolas Cage. It was pretty fun, pretty entertaining. They made reference to that in the movie, where he was like, "How did you come in?" And the floor mat says, "Welcome in." So he made his way in through the mat. I'm like, that's funny. And I bet a lot of people didn't get that reference unless they were like really heavy on to vampires and stuff. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. That's right. The anime Shiki did that too. That's right. You ever seen Shiki?
Shiki. No, I have not.
It's a horror anime, kind of like what we were discussing. I think like last week. There's not a lot of good ones, but Shiki, it's pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's the best thing in the world. It's definitely above average, and I only give it that only because there's not a lot of good like horror anime ones. But yeah, they did do that in Shiki. That's right, I forgot about that, where they're just like, "Please let us in." It's like, no, leave me alone. And I think they tricked her into letting her do it or something, like they maybe controlled her mind. I don't know. Good times.
Well, I guess it's time to get into our shows. So first up to bat is our thumbnail for today, or for this week I should say, which is Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, Episode 3.
Oh my god.
So
that's
I just
crazy.
I just want to say for Jujutsu Kaisen, I've read the manga up into a certain point, not to the point to where I've read everything that's going to be in season 2, but I've read past this point. So I know things. So I'll try to things. Yeah, so I'll try to be a little more reserved when it comes to Jujutsu Kaisen specifically, as to like kind of what I'm saying, and I'll be, careful not to spoil and whatnot. But what are our first impressions? I apologize.
How dare you go on? We couldn't get you to watch season 1. And then when season 2 comes around, I'm just gonna read right.
This is what I do.
Oh my gosh. But I guess first impressions, holy shit. This- that's number one impression. Freaking Gojo. Well, spoilers, by the way. So if you haven't watched it, definitely watch the newest episode. Gojo looks dead. Like, he looks deader than dead can be. And yet, this is a prequel, and he's obviously alive in the present time. So I wonder to myself, he's either a really good actor, like Maki from Chainsaw Man, or he really is dead and he got brought back to life somehow, which I don't know how that's possible. But yeah, Mappa doing great with the animation. Looks pretty crazy. Shigeru's dad is a dick. Because not only did he kill Gojo, he killed the little girl. He killed the vessel.
Yep.
He shot her point blank in the head. Ghetto basically told her that you could either, go in there and get swallowed up, blah, 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 or you can go on and live your life because me and Gojo are tough. We'll protect you. And she was so happy. I, for some reason, knew the second he reached out his hand that something bad was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to be like a bullet or so. I thought maybe a demon would have came out, but it was just like, I'm like, no, she's dead. She was young. She didn't deserve to die. She had her life to live, which I'm guessing that means the maid's probably dead too. Because she was literally right there. So I can't imagine her being alive either. So that also was sad. Because before all that stuff even happened, they were like enjoying their lives and at the beach and, having a good time. They went to the aquarium. They had food. Gojo and Geto were protecting these two, essentially. But little did we know that was basically their, what's it called? Make-A-Wish before they fucking died. So that sucked. It really did suck. And the fact that it ended on that kind of a cliffhanger makes me go, ooh, I want to see what happens.
Well, now we have
Wanna
Toji
see what
versus Geto. And
Yeah,
Geto has his
yeah.
rage boost considering that he believes that Gojo is dead.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Decrepit Storm is even saying, I wouldn't believe Gojo was dead even if his head came off. Which, I mean, yeah, he did get stabbed. And he's like, all I did was just shift my organs. I like how he described it. He said it's like putting a bobby pin through, what did he say? Through like
Clothes.
cloth.
Yeah.
Or clothes or whatever. I'm like, that's a very good way to describe it because you could picture that. But I don't know, man. He got stabbed in the throat, went all the way down across his chest. He got stabbed repeatedly in the legs for some reason. He had problems against his legs. I was just like, why is he stabbing his legs? But I mean, when you think about it, it just looks funny because, like, I understand the throat, I understand the going across, get the vital organs, but then he just goes to his leg. I'm like, okay. I guess he was just mad at his calves. He's like, how dare you work out and look nice?
I feel like the anime added a lot to that fight. Because he does everything as far as how he started the fight, stabbing Gojo through the chest and when he let his guard down. But when he stabbed him downwards after getting him again, I don't think that happened in the manga. So I think a lot of this stuff was Mappa just making Toji a lot more brutal than he was in the manga. Because
yeah,
I don't think this fight was as one-sided as they showed it in the anime, as they portrayed it in the anime. It was still clearly Gojo lost, but I think the ass whooping was even worse here. from what
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, and it's quite a funny contrast to see Gojo as we see him in season 1, where he's just owning people, doing this and doing all these moves and just with ease. But then you see him in high school against, somebody who's pretty capable of himself, and then just gets bodied, literally just owned up and down. So it's quite the contrast for sure, and it's like one of those, what just happened? He became a badass. How long ago was this supposed to be? 6 years?
12 years, I believe.
12 years. Okay, so I was halfway there. But yeah, 12 years. So I guess he could have improved quite a bit in 12 years. But 12 years ago, he was deader than dead. Unless for some reason he's some kind of immortal, which, now that I think about it, he's got eyes that are so unique and powerful. Maki's got eyes that are so unique and she's powerful. Are they fucking related?
Wait. Maki.
Yeah, I might be saying the name wrong. The girl from Chainsaw Man with the crazy looking eyes.
Makima, okay.
Makima. Damn it. No, I know there's a Maki in here, and she's definitely not the same person.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Makima and Gojo are related. Confirmed.
They had a fan art of those two. It was a good fan art of Makima and Gojo. I'll try to find it. It was really cute. It was wholesome.
It was wholesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just two OP characters having fun. I feel like they would probably have fun too.
Yeah, they'd probably get married.
I don't know. Gojo seems like he wouldn't do the marriage thing, and neither would Maki.
He wouldn't settle down? Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, they would definitely have fun. They would eat their food, and they would chat with one another. I can just imagine Gojo just, so, tell me about your day. And Maki was just like, I tried to get a minor to join my team. It's like,
Same.
did you? Well, I was the same. I had a minor that ate a bunch of fingers. And yeah, now he's here. It's really, I have a minor that ate a bunch of puke. They're very similar. More than I talk about it.
Yeah. Midnight says, on the side note, this shows that not even Gojo can win against prep time. So yeah, that was one thing I was seeing. I seen a thumbnail of a YouTuber asking a question or posing a question. Is Toji stronger than Gojo? He's not. He clearly won the fight, but he's not stronger. He obviously had to prepare for the fight to have a chance at winning. He says as much because he if you watch the scene where he gets stabbed again, Gojo, you see like the glint in his eye disappear when he thinks the mission is over. And as soon as that happens, that's when Toji strikes. So
yeah,
he was not able to beat him unless he was caught off guard the way he was then. There's a lot of things that went into him winning that fight. So
yeah.
And then obviously this is a 16-year-old Gojo who doesn't one technique that he hasn't shown that we know he has in present time is his red technique, which is the reverse curse technique. And he wasn't able, you saw it in last week where he wasn't able to use it against the guy who was cloning himself. So he doesn't have that. So this is a less refined Gojo, but even a less refined Gojo needed preparation from Toji for him to be able to win. So
yeah. Could he say that to who Gojo is now? I don't think so. I bet he wipes the floor with him.
Crazy to think that a 16-year-old kid is just the strongest person in the series. Yeah.
I feel like that's a good majority of anime.
Yeah, but usually that's when you're the main character. But this guy's just
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, you get that main character buff.
QRW6 says Toji is a menace. Decrepit Storm says we need Spy X Family, but with Makima and Gojo. Oh, they're taking care of a kid. So who's going to be the kid and who's going to be the dog?
Who's gonna be Anya? I don't know. That's a good question. If Anya was in that setting, like let's just say it's Anya, she could read both their minds. She'd be scared shitless of both of them, and she'd be like, "I don't want to be here."
I feel like it would just be Makima because Gojo kind of wears his heart on his sleeve most of the time. He's not really a secretive person, but Makima is a lot more shady and underhanded. So if Anya were to read her mind, it'll probably be hell.
Oh my god, the stuff that she would see as a 3-year-old girl would be fucked up.
Yeah.
And then the dog could be Poochie from Chainsaw Man.
True. QRW6 says Toji's from the same clan as Maki and Mai, but has never seen them since he has been away from the Zenin clan. Yeah. I think specifically as far as the bloodlines go, we already remarked how he's Megumi's father, but as his relation to Maki, I guess Maki and Mai, I think they're cousins. So yeah, I think they're cousins.
I thought they were sisters.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. For some reason I thought they were sisters.
Because Megumin and Mai and Maki aren't that close related. They're related, but they're not immediate family members. They're not like brother, sister, nothing like that.
I gotcha.
So that's how the family bloodline goes. But as far as going back to the episode, so I remember reading in the manga of how the maid just saved her because they just cut to the scene immediately of them going to the beach because it was like last week, oh, she's captured, and then
they glossed over that really quick.
Yeah. And then they just cut to the scene of we're having fun at the beach. It's a beach episode. And then when I seen that in a manga, I just felt so I was so unsettled. I was like, wait, what? Did I miss? I thought I missed a chapter. I said, wait, am I reading the next chapter? What just happened? Why are they at the beach? And we find out it was some weak non-sorcerer that kidnapped her some way, somehow. And they were able to beat them easily. And they're just taking a trip, having fun in the sun. It was weird.
I just love how it showed Gojo in the background. All he did was use his feet. He kicked down the door and then he was stomping on the dude as they were untying the maid and everything. You just see him in the background just stomp.
Yeah, well, I guess that was the whole point, that these guys are nobody, so there's no point in focusing on a whole thing of rescuing a maid who isn't even that important as a character.
How weak is the maid then? Because it seemed like she could hold her own. Then all of a sudden gets captured by nobody, and then that was that.
That's what disturbs me about the whole thing, because they showed the maid was capable of holding her own with one of the clones of the sorcerers that was going after them. So I don't understand how she was captured by some people who don't have any cursed energy, apparently. What did they do exactly? I don't know.
I don't either. The only thing I could think of is they went, "Oh, what's that over there?"
The classic technique. It gets them all the time.
They just knocked her out. Because she's a maid and everything. Like, "Oh, look, is that something?"
You missed a spot.
Is that a table to be cleaned?
Oh my god.
Just knock her out.
The most Looney Tune capture ever.
It has the sound effects too. The
Boom.
bonk.
Boing, 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 boing. We need one of those sound effects. We need that on the soundboard, like a Looney Tune sound effects. We definitely need like a Tom and Jerry scream. Yow! But so she gets captured, and they're able to get her. We spend no time on that. Basically, we have fun. Basically, just setting everything was really setting you up for heartbreak when it came to Rico, because skipping ahead, like her death, I'll say for me personally, this is how I feel about it. Not saying that this is the correct way to feel. I kind of feel betrayed by that death, for the simple fact that he's done something. Gege, the mangaka, he's done something similar when it came to Junpei and his death, where I felt that was also more for shock value than it was for like story reasons. Even though I will acknowledge it had a reason to happen, because that gave Yuji the rage boost and the motivation to fight Mahito. With Rico, it felt like they were setting something up with her character, and it was just all thrown away with that moment. I just feel like, damn, what was it? Made the journey feel like it had no purpose, really. And maybe that's the point of it, to, you know, give you that void in your heart. But I don't know. I felt like it was kind of unnecessary to have her die here. At least unnecessary up until the point that we get a resolution for her character. Because what it amounted to was she was going to get assimilated. She put on the front saying that, you know, she believed that she would live in the heart of a simulator guy, Cell. I'm just calling him Cell since he is Zorban.
Right. People. I don't remember. Oh, Tengen, I think was his name.
Yes, Tengen is his name. Cell, Boo. She said, yeah, I'll live on through him and I'll still have my personality. But obviously that was a front to, you know, that was a coping mechanism, because that was the only way for her to get her through that, because it's got to be hard for you to be told that you had to give up your life for the greater cause of things. It was basically what I was saying last week about it being similar to the whole Ellie thing in Last of Us, where do you care about the greater good, quote unquote, or do you care about your own personal feelings and your own life, and whether or not it should be used to be sacrificed? And towards the end, she decided that she wanted to, you know, live her own life, but didn't matter.
Yeah.
Take this bullet.
Essentially, yeah. Speaking of Looney Tunes, Mr. Goonie Tunes says Maki and Mai are sisters. So, you know, I guess that was confirmed. There we go. Midnight Gem Lord, we got to blame the anime for Junpei. Putting the man in the OP like that was crazy. I agree. I thought the guy was going to be longer because of that. Oh.
See, I don't think I watched the opening, like the visuals for the opening, so I wasn't even aware of that.
It's a pretty good opening.
But I'm not too mad at the whole Junpei thing, just because I think that did a lot for Yuji and his beef with Mahito. I just feel like with Rico, I don't know what it really does for any of these characters moving forward, because they fail, but is the failure really going to stick with them like that? Because it's just like, you know, if it was something that really affected them in a way that this one thing, them not being able to save her, was a big character relevation for them, then I will acknowledge that, yeah, it was necessary. I could see it, but I don't know. I just wish some more was done with Rico's character.
Yeah, so sad.
Yeah, But
now we get the epic fight with beautiful animation coming next week.
yeah, Mappa's doing a really great job with this anime. It looks crazy. It seems like they just have been putting all their eggs in the basket for Jujutsu Kaisen specifically. The first episode, we talked about this. It looks so great with nothing happening, with the different camera angles and when they were just walking through the mansion. Nothing was happening in that scene at all, but it just looked great. And with this fight sequence, it goes to show you that they are prepared to make this anime look as great as possible. They are really doing a great job with it. The music placement was great too, with before Rico's death and how it stopped after she got shot. Like, that was great as well. Mappa's been doing good.
The needle scratch. Yes, you could say that she's dead.
Yeah. You bastards, you've done it. You've done it.
I know. Oh my god, they killed Mako. You bastards.
Oh my god, you killed Rico.
Or Rico. Why did I say Mako? I'm so bad with names. I apologize.
We're gonna have a compilation of that. EA getting names wrong. We need that.
One of these days, and it's going to be over an hour long. Guaranteed. It's going to be like, who? Linda? Who's Linda? Oh, Vladilena. Sorry.
Oh, man. I feel like you have one for every show in the season, so that would be very long.
I think I called your nephew Tangerine the first season. I just called him Tangerine the whole time. It's like, it's not a fucking orange.
Yeah, I think both you and C were calling him that, so he wasn't my nephew at that time, so it's all right.
That's true.
I found out after we did the blood test later.
That he was related.
Yeah. Decrepit Storm says, I think they were able to make it pretty impactful despite her not being in the show for that long. True enough, because she was in the episode for 2.5 episodes, something like that.
Pretty much.
Junpei got done dirty. QRW6 says the Naruto version of JJK OP was banging, but RIP to Rico. And Decrepit Storm says, I'm interested to see how this will affect. I think he meant to say Gojo in particular. How about instead of bring it back C, we bring back Rico? Good idea. Let's bring back Rico.
Yeah, let's totally just. All right, put the stuff out, and Rico's back. I mean, so he's just in the corner going, "What?"
I mean, well, let's think about it like this: if Gojo Gojo has to come back, just because we know that unless the guy that we know in the current time is some clone or something, he's going to come back. So if he's going to come back, who's to say that Rico can't come back?
True. And then she'll really have gotten eaten by Tengen. Absorbed by Cell.
Well,
she comes back just to get absorbed. How fucked up would that be?
Well, Gojo and Geto are giving their seal of approval of them being able to bodyguard her. So, if it came down to that, there will be nobody to stop them from carrying that out, really. Unless it's just this guy fighting them again, Toji, and he's waiting for them to slip up. Because nobody else can really hold a candle to these two. So,
the Decrepit Storm said he meant to say Ghetto. How would it affect Ghetto?
Ah, okay, got you. Midnight, Jim Lord says in the chat, sad part is Toji didn't have to kill her. She wasn't going to fuse with true enough, but Got it.
I mean, he didn't know that. He was literally standing right there. So, I mean, right, and he had a job to do.
Yeah.
So,
got to get paid.
The job is done.
I remember one time you called Tondo Todoroki and then Tangerine 5 minutes later.
I'm bad with names. What can I say?
Tadano. Wait, who's Tadano? Who's Tadano?
I don't know.
I don't even know who that is.
You're asking the wrong person.
Bad. But yeah, fight between Geto. He has his 2 shadow curses coming out. So we'll see that fight. He's mad that his boy Gojo is dead. So we'll see how he fares against Toji.
I swear to God, if Gojo walks in there all nonchalant, like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" I'm gonna go, "How? How? He's deader than fucking dead." From Komi-san.
Okay, that's I don't know. Okay, so how do you think the fight will go between Geto and Toji, considering what Toji did to Gojo?
It'll probably be more of the same. It'll be Tadano owning everybody and just he'll waste all those spirits and whatnot, and then it'll be a last minute one of those. "Any last words, Geto? Because you are gonna die by me." And then out comes, Gojo, and he goes, "Oos."
Okay, so you think Geto loses the fight, survives, and Gojo saves him before the killing blow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because and now I'm starting to move things in my mind now. Maybe, just maybe, this is all gonna be some damn trick just to get this guy. Because he got the drop on Gojo originally when he wasn't looking. All's fair if we do it the other way. So maybe the same thing will happen. He'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill," and then just kill, and then he dies. But I don't know. Maybe I'm giving the series too much credit if I think that. But it's going to be a cool looking fight. I don't think Geto wins it. I would be surprised if he did, because I guess Gojo's supposed to be stronger. I don't know if they're on the same level. I honestly don't know, but
Gojo's
that's my
stronger.
prediction.
Gojo's
okay,
stronger.
well then, definitely some type of twist that no one will see coming. That's my prediction.
Okay. Well, I think that's everything for this episode. Pretty shocking episode. I think this caught a lot of people off guard, considering how much focus and development they were giving Rico and the maid. But all for naught. Misery and heartbreak is a part of the show's MO. So sad thing with them. But we move on. And now we're just in the aftermath of everything, how things are going to stack up when it comes to the fallout with Gojo's potential death and how it affects Geto. Well, I guess the last thing I want to ask you is, are you starting to see a pathway for the current the Geto in this flashback to the current Geto in real time, like evil Geto? Do you see a way for him to turn into that?
Not really, no. Like, he seems kind-hearted. He was upset when Rico died, and he was even more upset when he found out the guy said that he killed Gojo. Obviously modern day Geto would be like, "Oh, Gojo's dead. Yeah, sure. Kill the motherfucker." But now, in the past, it seems like I don't see any evil in him. I just see a character that's nowhere near what he is now. So I'm curious to find out where that comes from, and I don't like it if his rage comes from the fact that he thought that Gojo died. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, because as of right now, I don't see it, unless I'm just missing those little sudden little hints. But yeah, I don't see it.
Decrepit Storm, I did not see JJK Zero yet. I will probably have to watch it this week. I thought I was going to watch it last week, but that didn't end up happening. I seen how like long the movie was. I was like, 2 hours. Oh shit. And it scared me. So I didn't end up watching it.
It scared you. You just went, oh no.
My attention span is shit. But I will say my attention span might get better, since it seems like I'll probably be abandoning Twitter, or should I say X.com, very soon.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah. This latest change with the logo, and
they're just calling it X?
X.com, yes.
I can't believe that. I saw that and I was literally like, this has to be a joke, right? Yeah. Sure enough, I saw it today, and I don't know why you would change the name Twitter. It makes sense. I sent out a tweet. It is on Twitter. It's a notoriety. It's known. Ugh,
it's Zeets now. They're Zeets now.
Yeah.
Zeets. Yeah. Ugh. Very stupid.
Oh, we'll get it because of the X.
Yeah.
Zeets. That is. So it's almost like, it really is like a joke at this point.
Yeah.
Ugh. Well,
it is what it is.
I'm so glad I created that King of Anime podcast Twitter, or should I say X?
Oh man.
Only for it to not hold any meaning now.
Yeah. Next show of the night though, is Rurouni Kenshin, 2023, episode 3. So, what's our first impressions of Rurouni Kenshin, episode 3?
Our impression is oro, oro, oro.
What does that mean?
I'm kidding. I was just saying what he said with the oro.
That it is.
I'm sorry. But speaking of Twitter, I was just tweeting out what was, just this show. Nothing important. Anyway, so when it came to this particular episode, we got more introduced and more familiar with the little kid. And I forget the little kid's name, but he's got a lot of spirit, a lot of pride, a lot of
Yahiko, that was his name.
Yahiko. I'm a badass, but you can't tell me what to do, and then get his ankles broke and all that wonderful jazz. But
I like the kid.
Yeah, he's not as bad as I originally thought that he was going to be, because I thought the whole time he was just gonna, old hag, baka, crawl on top of the roof and throw shit at him, So,
yeah. I mean, he's definitely immature, but
very much so. I seriously thought that was gonna be his whole character, and I was gonna be like, God, why? Why is this character even here? But he showed his worth towards the end, where he kind of just skipping way ahead, I guess. Those two people that came in that the dojo, I guess, like, they started a fight because they were drunk with two other people. He was like, I could smell the booze on them. Mm-hmm. These guys are drunk. Like, he's just kind of like a street smart type of kid, where he's been around it. He knows, like, these people are they're just trying to run for cover because they started shit and they can't finish it. How dare they? But yeah, it's Yeah, it was interesting. Typical Rurouni Kenshin came in and, beat up a couple people. Well, he got the kid originally because he put somebody through the fucking roof.
Yeah, that's what we need to talk about. We're talking about Looney Tunes stuff earlier. The guy just starts some shit with Rurouni or with Kenshin, and it just gets knocked out, head put through the roof.
Yeah. I know last week you were talking about putting people through the bed.
Yeah.
This is putting people through the roof.
Oh my god.
Oh, they're just boom, and he's just stuck up there like, oh.
What I love about stuff like that is with a lot of these characters who don't kill, they will do things that certainly should kill some people. I will always go back to Batman Begins, where they have that scene, the last scene with the train and some of the stuff that they were doing, and I'm like, Batman. Or even when he he was going up against all the assassins and he like blew the thing up, I'm like, yo, you had to have killed some people. There's no way you're doing what you're doing and you didn't kill anybody. And this guy who got his head put through the roof, I feel like that should have killed him. That's just me personally.
Right. I mean, if he's not dead, he's never going to be the same again.
He's probably have like brain damage.
Right. He's just, it's like, how you doing, Commander? Are you okay? I don't think I'm good now.
And then it's a question of, okay, so you have this code of where you don't want to kill people, but do you believe there are fates worse than death? Because I certainly do. And I think having brain damage to the degree of not being able to speak or function as a human being would be worse than death. So Kenshin, I see through you. You are a villain. What the hell? That was...
I mean, aren't we supposed to believe that this guy did kind of used to be a villain?
Well, yeah.
Because he's kind of...
He definitely
has that pass.
He murdered people for the government, so he has that on his resume. But the guy that we see now is supposed to be, I'm Kenshin, I'm good guy. I have fun. That I do.
I dance with all these ladies that I do. I'm all kinds of fun.
We see through the act.
That's Kenshin's character. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He ain't nothing but a damn liar.
The Crimson Storm said, are Kenshin's eyes like the eyes in Oshinoko? Everyone is just instantly mesmerized by them. Maybe. I just like the fact that the Yakuza guy just we brought this up yesterday. We brought up how there will be a time where you'll see a character just running through the henchmen, and why they don't just give up at certain points. Why did they see somebody just destroying hordes of people, and why did they decide, I'm going to be the one to actually beat them? The Yakuza guy sees him put his one henchman through the roof, and he knows that Kenshin beat everybody outside. And Kenshin said, I'm here for the kid. What did the Yakuza guy do? He said, okay, take the kid. And he left it at that.
Right. At that point, I even think some of his members were trying to like argue with him, like, boss, how did it look? It's one fucking kid. I don't want that. Go, take him.
Yeah, because there was this guy who
hands of it.
There was some guy who was trying to fight him after the fact, and then he stops him. He says, if one kid is the price that we had to pay to get him out of our sights, that's a steal of a deal.
Oh, yeah, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where you would never ever go back. I agree. That's kind of that. But I thought that was cool too, because I honestly thought we were going to get yet another how he was going to defeat every single person until he got down to the guy as he's sweating, cowering in fear.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, it didn't go that far. It was just nothing but, my strongest guy just got his head put through the roof. You can take the kid.
Yeah, I would love it if we had more smart henchmen guys like him. You know, you don't have to be super strong. Just be a little smart, and I'll probably be satisfied because he immediately realized his limitations and said, "We're not prepared to deal with this guy. Let's just fold." So we probably won't see
our losses.
Yeah. Yeah. We probably won't see those guys ever again, but good to know that there's some bosses with brains behind them. But
yeah,
I mean, we got that, but then we got those guys later with the cannons who thought they were hot shit. Which, I mean, that was a little understandable because they believed that they had technology on their side. They're like, we have these cannons. There's no way you can. Oh, you just cut the cannonball. And
right.
At least after that, they kind of gave up. So they also realized their limits.
Right. I mean, albeit it was a wooden ball, which I guess metal balls. I mean, you can shoot wood or metal, whatever. He just cut right through that wooden ball like it was nothing. It did the whole samurai shoot, and then it was gone. Like, no, I don't feel like I want to fight anyone anymore. Taxi.
Yeah, because they brought the whole posse to beat these guys up, which I gotta wonder, how much trouble did those two guys cause for everybody to get that mad? It's like the Boondock scene. What did he do to make them so mad? Jesus Christ.
They must have said something about that one guy's mother. Like they said something personal, because people don't do that stuff unless it's like personal. And I think one of them got sucker punched. I don't know. Somebody said something to somebody. You know how people get when they're drunk. There are people that can hold their booze, and there's people that cannot. And when they cannot hold their liquor, they're either, the fumbling, stumbling, drunk girl that's like, this song's about me, and then they just all kinds of crazy. Or they want to fight everybody they come across, and they're like, what'd you say? Dude, I'm just walking. What the you want to cross up, bro? Come on, step up.
I'm happy to say that the kind of drunkard I would be if I was put in the category, I would overlap in like the sleepy kind. I just go to sleep, or I'm kind of the I love you guy who's just talking nonsense.
Yeah, I'm a goofy guy, and if anybody is a fan of this particular podcast, you've heard me drunk. You know what I am. I'm a goofy drunk, and I'm also that too, where guys, bring it in. I love you guys. You on my right arm, you on my left. We are the best of friends.
Yeah, it's good to be one of those, because the belligerent, violent drunk thing is a little overplayed.
I agree. And if you know that you get that bad when you get drunk, why ever drink again? And I understand there's alcoholics, so they don't do that. But I'm talking about the people that go out to parties, to bars, to events, and they know that if they get alcohol on their lips, they're going to end up in handcuffs by the end of the night. And it's like, you need, especially if you're like way old for that shit. If you're young, okay, fine, maybe do it once or twice. But if you're like my age, pushing on more than that, and you're still doing that, it's like, come on, dude, you need to grow up.
Yeah. I mean, and we've talked about the effects of alcohol, because I'm not one of those people. It's been something that has been betrayed, especially in a lot of older media, as a thing that kind of changes you. Like, you'll see in shows where characters get drunk and they'll become completely different people. And me having been drunk a couple of times,
a couple.
Yeah, from my personal experience and from what I've seen of other people, it's not a thing that changes you. It's a thing that kind of releases this restriction on some of your thoughts. So they call it a truth serum for a reason. And it's not that you just tell the truth. It's just that you don't you don't feel the need to kind of conceal or hold things in. So I think actually when you drink alcohol, you become less guarded and more of the person that you already are, rather than a different person entirely. So if you are violent when you drink, you're probably just a violent person in general, and maybe you mask those tendencies better when sober. That's how a lot of things happen. The only thing that alcohol really does as far as changing you is your judgment is impaired. So the whole thing of like you maybe like sleeping with some ugly girl because you're drunk, you're not going to have good judgment. So that's something that can actually happen. And that doesn't mean that you just like ugly girls. It just, like that. You may see, you may see different things when you're drunk. So
you got the beer goggles on.
Yeah. Oh, I remember wearing one of those, and we wore one of those in high school when I had my driver ed class. They were like, "This is the effects of when you're drunk." Which that now looking back at it, it wasn't completely accurate, but because basically those glasses was just making you see threes. But I understood what they were going for.
Same. I was there. I wore those exact same glasses in driver's ed, and they were like, "Okay, try to give me a high five as you're wearing it," and then you're like completely missing it. I'm like, "Oh my god!" But after experiencing what it was like to actually be drunk, I get it. It's not that blurry, but I get it.
Yeah.
But we'll save about the effects of drinking for another show that we'll be talking about later in the evening.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because
the Decrepit Storm said the Drunk Summer Awards show is something everyone should see. Ain't nothing wrong with someone seeing some 3s out of 10s. I mean, what is first of all, what is good? Shark the Plug. I mean, 3s need love too. It's all good. But going back to the show, I really like the relationship between Yahiko and Kaoru, or what the potential of it, because you already talked about how Yahiko kept calling her an old hag and whatnot, which I kind of got to question the taste of these kids, because when I was a kid, I had my crushes or whatever, like sometimes on teachers, and it's a lot of times I've seen this before with these kids that call characters that aren't old. Like, why are you calling?
Right.
I think Kairu's like 17 or something like that. Why are you calling her old? Jeez. You're not that much younger than her.
Right. I never understood that myself, because it's just like, I don't know. Like, if she was legitimately old, like if she was just wrinkled and just teeth messing, old haggard, even then it's still rude. But at least it would make more sense versus, this young, dainty, delicate flower who can apparently take care of herself. She knows how to use a sword. She was using that kendo stick like nothing.
Yeah,
I was impressed by that.
I was glad to see that they showed her fighting, because I was disappointed at first when Kenshin saved the day, when he first saved the boy, because Kaoru was actually the first person to see Yahiko in trouble. So that gave us the implication that she notified Kenshin that he was able to save everybody. So I thought that we weren't going to see her fight, but we actually got to see her fight off two of the thugs by herself. Two of the thugs by herself with the bamboo sword, which shows her capabilities and what she can end up teaching to Yahiko. Because we don't really got a full idea of what her strength is, because she doesn't fight. So
yeah, exactly. And also DP68 Gaming, he's dead.
Yeah, C-Tectus is no longer with us. He just departed from this earth, so to speak. So if you want to talk to him, go to your local store, get the Ouija board or something, and contact him via that way.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe do some of those prayer beads, rub them together, and say, "Oh, Goddess Aqua, please help us bring C back to life."
Or you could do the old trusty method, which is say Vladilena 3 times in the mirror and spin 3 times in a row.
Oh, right. And you have to look right into the mirror and you have to say it out loud. You just got to look right into it. Just Vladilena. Vladilena. Come on, say it. No, I ain't gonna fucking say it. You say it. Okay, I'll say it. Vladilena.
But by the way, I'm interested in this. EA, have you ever done one of those things as a kid? Like those
Bloody Mary?
Yeah, I never did that as a kid.
No, because I was a coward as a kid. You know, pretty much most of that stuff like scared me to death. I would have friends that would do that exact thing where they would go, come on, go into the closet and say Bloody Mary. It's like, no, I ain't gonna do that. You do that. And they knew that I was scared, so that they would pick on me and do that shit. I hated that so much. I'd be like, I'm gonna hang out at your house, but I swear to God, if you do that Bloody Mary stuff, I'm never coming over again. And then they would.
It was a weird thing for me because I've never been somebody that was, I would say, I was superstitious. I was, like the whole thing, like, don't split poles, don't bring an umbrella inside. I was never superstitious, but when it came to invoking or possibly invoking the anger of spirits, never did any stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would never touch a Ouija board. I would never do the Bloody Mary stuff, any of that. Just on the off chance that it's real. I didn't want to end up like one of those stupid kids in horror movies. So,
yeah, I don't know what movies they were, but there were some horror movies that fucked me up for life to where I would never fuck with that shit at all. I think it was Poltergeist was one of them. And just stuff like that where it's like the house could like become alive and then you look in the mirror and then your face is bleeding and just stuff like that was just absolutely terrifying, and I could never do it. I to this day never touch a Ouija board. I would never try to go into what is considered a haunted house and provoke any spirits. Like, that's of my top things of wanting to do in life. Those are way at the bottom.
Are you saying you don't have it on your list like Zon 100?
Oh yeah, it would not make the 100. I'm sorry, it would not get up there. If there was like a list of 100 things not to do, it would be at the top. It would be pretty high up there.
The Griffin store says long and hard, long and hard, long and hard. QRW6 says get a spirit medium to contact C, and he'll keep saying he has someone trying to bring him back. I wonder how much it costs to hire a spirit medium. We can get a shaman. That'll be cool.
A shaman king?
Yeah, or a queen, or a princess, or
you
a prince.
go, girl.
Whichever one is cheaper. We'll just see whatever's the cheapest one. We'll get a shaman jester.
Let's get a shaman apprentice.
Yeah, somebody like a shaman intern or something.
That would be even better. Not even getting paid to do what he does. He's just like, hi, I'm the shaman intern, and I'm here to bring back your friend, right? Yes. Okay. What's his name? Sea Fabrics? No, it's a Sea Tactics. You gotta get the name right. Oh yes, Sea Ocean. All right. Let's resurrect your friend. Oh, I could just see that. That would just be awful.
Shark the Plug says, with Hunter x Hunter, Fruits Basket, Kenshin, and others getting reanimated, is there any series you guys would want to see redone? Maybe Yu Hakusho. I think we've had that question before.
Yeah.
I'll say,
Uh,
well, I will have to think about that for a second, but I'll say for the Yu Yu Hakusho thing, I've seen people say that they wanted Yu Yu Hakusho remade, and honestly, I don't quite understand it because Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm not saying it holds up well in terms of modern anime standards with the animation and whatnot, but I think it still holds up well. The English dub is still good. Animation it's not old to the degree that is bad. Like with Fruits Basket, the anime didn't finish the story. It didn't adapt everything. So it kind of needed to be redone in the anime medium. Kenshin, I'm not aware of, so I can't really say that or say anything on that. But I think Yu Yu Hakusho still is good to watch even today. But that's just how I feel
it's a
about
classic.
it. Yeah.
For me, and this is only because I would like to see it get done, just make a faithful adaptation with the love and animation that they would bring to it. Berserk. I feel like that would be an incredible series, especially now that I feel like Berserk is just more and more popular than it's been before. And this is coming from a guy who saw it like 2 or 3 years ago. I never saw it before, but I was so interested in everything that was going on because it's like unlike any anime I've ever seen. I know a lot of animes got inspirations from Berserk, which show today, and it's kind of like Watamote. It was right before it started getting really good. The series just ended, and then it just, I feel like Berserk, if they did it right, if they made it faithful, and they gave it just, I don't know, they gave it a good studio that gave it great animation, not CGI bull crap that it had back in 2016, I feel like it would be a really good anime. It would be like up there with Vinland and Attack on Titan. I think it would be a masterpiece.
I just feel like with Berserk, and it may just be my jadedness talking on it, it's too much of a brutal show to be translated in the anime medium faithfully. It's a lot of things in that show that didn't even get adapted from us watching the anime that I think people would hesitate to put on TV. So I think that's one of the big things that kind of it stands as a roadblock for Berserk getting that perfect adaptation, and why the 97 version is probably the best we'll get.
I mean, I guess only time will tell, but this is going off a completely different tangent. You see that they're going to come out with an actual adaptation and series of Uzumaki.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen a little bit of what they have thus far in the anime.
The trailer, they showed a little clip of it, I think yesterday or Saturday. I can't remember what day it was, but I was like, and I never read it either, but I remember you showing me, UNC showing me not clips, but like still frames and pictures of it. And that's like one of those, oh my God, that's so unsettling. But the clip that I saw looks really good and just really well animated, that I feel like they're going to do the manga justice, and it's probably going to be just as crazy looking. And not saying that stuff like Berserk couldn't be done. I guess just when I saw Uzumaki, I was just like, wow, they're actually making it look like the manga. And it's probably going to be edited because it's on TV, but I'm sure like whenever you get it on like a streaming service, it probably won't be that heavily edited or something. I don't know. It's out there. It's an idea. We'll see what happens.
I think Uzumaki is probably my favorite Junji Ito work. I've read 3 series by him. That series, Tomoe, and this other series I can't think of the full name right now. But yeah, Uzumaki is really good. But I think we talked about this before, but I don't know if some of the stuff in horror manga necessarily translates that well in anime, but we will see how it stands up with this Uzumaki anime. Uzumaki is a good series though, so I like it.
Yeah, the fact they're making it black and white too, just like the manga, is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Going back to Shark the Plus question though, as far as like what I would like to be reanimated, I think a series that I'm fond of that I think would do really great if it was remade is Claymore. Which I don't know if you have any experience with the anime or manga, EA, but Claymore is a really good series that I think that you may enjoy if you read it. But Claymore is kind of brought up in the same light as Berserk, not because it's like the same quality or whatnot, but same thing as being like set in medieval times, warriors with swords and whatnot. But in Claymore, the fighters are all female, which is interesting. So you have a deep female cast where I would say maybe 90% of the cast are all female characters and they're fighting off demons. And it's a really interesting story. The anime did not adapt the manga in full. It went its own way with the last couple of episodes, which in my opinion kind of ruined the entirety of the show because the direction they went in was bad. But if that got remade to a faithful adaptation, I think a lot of people would enjoy it. It would benefit from, of course, modern animation, just it looking better. So yeah, I think Claymore would be a really good series if it was remade.
A good one.
Yeah. But going back to Rurouni Kenshin,
oh yeah, we're still talking about that.
yeah. That's the thing. We still talk about anime here. But yeah, basically we're talking about a relationship between Kaoru and Yahiko. I like the potential of their relationship. I hope that Yahiko becomes a permanent member of this party. I don't know what they're going to do going forward because right now we don't even have like a set goal. You know, usually we in series we have like something that we strive to do, but so far in this series it's just kind of we're dealing with things as they come to us, and we have a purpose, but again we don't have a concrete tangible goal. Our purpose would be just to, I guess, you know, be good people, stay true to our code and principles, but as far as like what we're going to do, we don't have anything. But I was just going to say I think the kid is a welcome addition to the group because he is kind of like everybody else with Kenshin and Kaoru. They're all people who they're not only good people, but they're people who stay true to their own convictions. And I think that's why he fits in with the group so well. Like he's ready to die on his own pride and what he truly believes in.
Yeah. Did you see that there was after credits?
There was?
Yep.
Really? Oh, actually, no, I did see it. It was with the guy with a big weapon.
Yeah, the guy with the big weapon, the freaking cloud looking dude, you know, and I think he's in the intro. He's got like the spiky hair, the bandana, he's got the wrappings around his stomach and everything. And he was talking about, he's probably gonna be that stereotypical, I want a strong fight. You guys aren't strong enough, and he's gonna fight Rurouni Kenshin, and the rest is history. He's probably gonna get bested by him, and he's gonna go, you are now my master.
I mean, it'll be cool to see. We haven't had any competition for Kenshin to really push him to any degree. So we'll see if he'll be that guy to do it. Let's read some of the comments. So QRW6 says Kenshin was a complete story. It was concluded at a big arc in the story. Crepit Soren said, yeah, the manga was still going with the anime when the anime finished, wasn't it? QRW6 says, in my opinion, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, kind of my philosophy. Shark, tell that to Elon. Shark to Plug says, "Nice, my bad for the repeat. Appreciate Appreciate y'all. Maybe Soul Eater for me. I disagree so much with you, Shark to Plug. Well, okay, no. I understand you saying Soul Eater because I don't like where the anime ended, but before then, which is maybe like maybe about 70% of Soul Eater was good. It's kind of like in the same boat for me with The Promised Neverland, where the first season was so good, faithful to the manga, had some differences here and there, but wasn't big enough for you to warrant a remake. Soul Eater kind of does so much faithfully that it's hard for me to go, we need a remake of this, because it's already modern animation. You did good for so long. I don't know if it warrants a remake, at least now. Maybe in a couple more years, but now would be kind of crazy to ask for a remake.
I mean, if anything else, why not just remake the part that they screwed up on? You could keep everything else perfect, but then just, I don't know, call it Soul Eater X, and then just have what was left out of the manga and just put it in there. Just do it that way.
I mean, you could, but will they? Because then
that's to be determined.
Because then the problem that will arise is that you had to advertise it in a way where you go, hey, we know we fucked up with Soul Eater the first time. Remember the anime? Just remember, or just stop at this episode. And I don't think shows want to do that. Either they're going to restart things from the beginning, or if they're going to do like some type of remake where it's like a sequel adaptation, they're going to branch off where the anime left off at. I don't know if they would do it in a way where they go, yeah, remember those last 20 episodes we did that was completely original to the anime? Forget all that. That didn't matter.
I mean, yeah, I don't know either. If anything, Soul Eater is pretty popular. It's eventually going to get a remake, whether we want to or not. It's probably like you say. It's probably not going to happen now, but maybe sometime down the road.
The Crevice Storm said, "EA, call it Soul Eater X." So, like, if Elon was naming it,
it would just know everything's X now. So I was just like Soul Eater, and then I looked at X as X. I wanted to call it Re. Obviously, that'd be dumb.
Elon would probably just call it X Eater or something like that.
X Eater X.
Yeah. Crevice Storm said, "Would The Promised Neverland ever get an adaptation?" I mean, it had a season 1 one. The season 2, I'm not sure if it had an adaptation for that. I don't think so.
But you see, that's another one of those where it's like they would eventually have to remake that one too. Maybe if they ever do it.
It's hard once you get your anime shot. It's really hard to say just remake it. Like, how many Fruits Basket fans actually thought that Fruits Basket was going to be remade? Like, truly believed that and stayed believing that for years upon years. Because the Fruits Basket anime aired 2001 and then it got remade in 2019.
Wait. Yeah.
So damn near 2 decades worth of time. You know, I just don't think anime fans are going to have that much belief in something being remade for that long of a time. It's just crazy to think about.
I mean, it is a new era that we're living in now, Satsuki. This is, I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we used to just have season 1 of things. And then we would have nothing else, and then that would be the series. Now we're getting so many series that actually have more than one season, which is unheard of. I mean, I thought it was crazy when they gave us a second season of Snafu. And then they decided they wanted to hurt me with season 3. No. Yeah, I feel like more anime is just getting that additional season treatment, but I don't know. Yeah, I do agree with you. Like the whole, if you want to remake something, I feel like that's a difficult task.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it's popular enough, and if there's a series that needs that, they'll give it to something. But I agree. Like Fruits Basket's one of those where it's like, would you ever have imagined it? No, absolutely not. It's like saying, do you think, I don't know, any anime from the 90s or 2000s would get a remake? Hard to say, but remakes are coming, and it's probably going to be the new normal here soon.
Yeah. Different atmospheres, so it's definitely possible to see changes and more things being remade in that way. But I would say, do not hold your breath when it comes to the older animes, maybe, but and I'm talking about things that come pre 2010, stuff like that being remade. That I understand, but things after that era, like stuff like Soul Eater, I think aired 2013 around or 2011 around that time. That being remade, I don't know, but as Kevin Garnett said, anything is possible. But I think we're done talking about Rurouni Kenshin. Good episode. Yeah.
I'll pass it.
Oh yeah, this is episode 3. I mean, we're not really doing that.
No. I know we already established that we weren't doing it, but I just wanted to say that just to see what you would have said.
Yeah, it's definitely passable. I would say the same. I'm interested in this show. It's weird too because I think this show, Rurouni Kenshin, is the show I came in with the most amount of bias. I just really wasn't looking forward to watching it, honestly. But thus far, it's been good. I don't have any complaints. Light and Films, I think Decrepit Storm talked about them. Animating this. They've been doing a great job of it. Not saying like the animation has been stellar, but it's just as an anime only for it, it's been good thus far, so I'm happy with it. But switching gears, the next show to talk about is none other than EA's pick, Zom 100, episode 3. So yeah. I think, well, since you picked this show, I'll kind of give my first impressions of it first.
Sure, go ahead.
This show, Vash is in the chat. Kenshin reboot worth the watch, all. Well, I have never seen I've never read the manga and I've never watched the old anime, so I don't know if it's worth it in comparison to those variations of Kenshin. But I will say I've been enjoying the anime thus far. It hasn't been great, but it's been good. I like it.
Yeah, and I know nothing about the original either, other than I know it was on Toonami a long time ago, but I never watched it. But from what I see, it's entertaining.
Yeah. So Zom 100 episode 3, I think it's really time to give EA his flowers for choosing the show. It's been the best thing I've been watching this season, honestly. And I'm not saying it's leaps and bounds, but it's been a clear thing from the jump that this is the best thing that I've been watching personally of this summer season, of this summer 2023 season. It's so unique, it's so refreshing, and every episode I'm impressed by what they do with the show, considering the setting, because they could always decide to fall back on the generic survival drama setting that you typically get with zombie apocalypse shows, but instead it strives to do more with the setting and sticks to its guns as far as doing this thing where it's not telling a survival story. It's telling a story of, instead of surviving, it's a story on how to live. And there's a difference. Surviving just is to elongate your life. Living is to get the most of life in a certain amount of time. So, the main character is doing whatever is in his power to fulfill this wish list. That's living. What the character that we saw in the last episode, I forgot the girl's name. Oh, she didn't have a name. We called her Jinbei.
You called her
Jinbei.
Yeah, Jinbei.
Yeah, she is doing her best to survive, and he's doing his best to live. And because it's focusing on that aspect of the zombie apocalypse, it just makes it so much more of a unique show. And episode 3 is more of the same. It's been on that trajectory and hasn't strayed from it. So I really enjoyed this episode.
Yes, I'm it took me a couple seasons, but I think I finally got it right this time. This show, I look forward to it every time it comes on. Like, that's not to say I don't look forward to other shows and whatnot, but something about this show, just where I could just sit back, relax, and just enjoy it and not have to think too hard and be too critical about it. It's really quite refreshing. I enjoyed the I guess, what would you want to call it? The interaction between the main character and who's the friend? What's his name?
I don't remember his name.
I'm gonna look it up. But anyway, that was pretty cool. That too is, once again, it always touches on society and life and living life to the fullest. Essentially, this guy, okay, that's right, his name was like Kenichiro. Does that sound right?
I'm going to look at, I usually always have my anime list of the characters' names up, but I don't have it up right now.
Okay.
I mean, it's...
Well, yeah. Okay, he's fighting somebody. But yeah, Kenshiro, he was acting...
Kenichiro, I think that's his name.
Okay. He was acting all kinds of...
They say Kensho in the chat.
Oh, that was his nickname. That was his nickname. Okay, that's what he called him, was Kensho. But I guess his real name is Kenshiro or something. But I will decrepit. Thank you. Well, that right there tells me he's gonna die. No offense, decrepit, but what I got out of it was that he put on this front to make himself look like this important person and be cool and all that, while at the same time making Akira feel miserable, because he was already miserable with his job, and this guy wasn't doing him any favors. So I think he knew that. He saw that he was suffering, and he even told him straight up, he's like, dude, you should just quit. He was right in the long run, but he was just kind of like showing off and being more like this is what you could live like, this is me, ooh. But what we find out at the end of the episode was that all that was lies. He wasn't ever happy. He was kind of miserable, to be honest, and he was more... He appreciated Akira as a friend, because I guess in the end he never really had many friends, because he always kind of like acted like an ass and like kind of scared him away with his attitude and whatnot. And I guess it just goes to show you that, just because somebody seems like they're living their life doesn't mean that they truly are. It all could just be just a facade, just to make it seem like everything's good, but deep down, not really. And that's that I like that kind of dynamic between them, and it was the fact that the dude jumped from a building butt ass naked.
And chafed his balls in the process.
Yeah. He's like, I scraped my nuts. I'm like, oh, that's why you don't jump from a fucking building naked. But at the end, him and Akira were drinking alcohol, and they were both naked, and they were kind of like sharing tales and whatnot. And hey, nothing like being a bunch of dudes just naked around one another, just going, hey, it's the end of the world. Fuck it, let's drink.
We've all been there.
Now, we have all been there, totally. And I do have one question though that's kind of spiked my curiosity. Kensho was in, I guess, what would you call it, like a love hotel or some kind of entertainment district where he's
yes
with some prostitute, or excuse me, escort.
Yeah.
So, in order for zombies to become zombies, they have to die and then get reincarnated back and everything. There was an escort already tied up and everything, and I was thinking, did he murder this woman?
I mean, okay, to be fair, we don't know how the zombies work in this world exactly. We don't know if they get reanimated after death. It could just be the thing of like a virus that spread within the community, and then it's just only zombies being just birthed like from bites. Yeah, it could be something like that. But that's actually a good question to ask because we don't know how that happened. I guess I'll headcanon it and say that she got bit prior and it manifested itself after she was tied up and whatnot.
Talk about lucky. Imagine if he was the one tied up.
Or it could have been a thing to where she was a zombie. He answered the door not knowing the zombie apocalypse was going on. She got in and then he tied her up like that. That's also a possibility.
Yeah, that's true too. But for some reason in my mind, I was thinking, oh baby, yeah, we're gonna have some fun tonight. And oh, okay, I don't know what's happening. I guess I'm going a little crazy. Oh my god, you're a damn zombie.
At least he didn't try to keep going through with the deed. That would have been a bad death. You're a zombie. Well.
He's like, your flesh is just ill. Actually, let me pull these up so that I don't have to see nothing. Oh my god, yes.
Goonie Toon said I thought she had bite marks on her arm. I didn't analyze it, so I'm not sure. Could be.
Okay, well then that's probably true. It's okay, so if that's the case, if she had bite marks, she was probably already tied up. Zombie opened the door, bit him, and then he probably like pushed the zombie out, locked it, and then that happened. That's my assessment.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's not so much about the escort being tied up turning into a zombie, but more about Akira finding his friend and them rekindling their friendship after the zombie apocalypse, because essentially they became, well, I guess you could say they weren't like close friends anymore. They just kind of had a falling out and they weren't talking to one another anymore. And then the zombie apocalypse is what brought them back together as friends.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
As far as Kensho goes in his life story and being somebody who was basically living this facade of happiness, this show just does a lot of interesting things with the topics it covers. Because with Kensho, in contrast to Tendo, who was living his life like a zombie, just focused on getting money for his survival and whatnot, Kensho was living his life of false happiness because it wasn't exactly a life he loved, but a life that was maybe ideal to a lot of people, because you're told, make as much money as you can, try to be involved with a lot of women, and we see that was what he was doing in his life. But obviously it wasn't something that he loved doing, because in the pursuit of that, he had to scam a lot of people, just be underhanded. He wasn't true to himself. But that's the life he led because of the ideal dream that a lot of people hold. And what the zombie apocalypse does for people is it sets this equalizer to where everybody is now able to kind of pursue, like, because there's no society, because there's no responsibility, everybody is able to now pursue the things that they weren't able to before, or the stuff that they weren't be able to prioritize. So him wanting to be like this comedian thing, that before was probably a job like, oh, because comedy is hard. That'll never get you money. Why chase your passions when you should chase your money? Chase what will make you more money. And that's how things are for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't doing what they love to do, but instead doing what they're good at. And sometimes that doesn't correlate with your happiness. So him wanting to be like a comedian, it just, the risk of that failing would deter him from actually pursuing that goal. But now with the zombie apocalypse, without the need to be, have enough money for housing or any of this other bills, car bills, phone bills, water bill, electric bill, because all of that stuff not being a thing, he now gets to pursue his goals, which I guess kind of brings like this question of, it's like this primitive question of, how was life before we had a society where like nomads or even cavemen were just able to just pursue their own dreams? Like, how would that be? I guess that's kind of what Zom 100 brings. How would that type of lifestyle be brought into play in modern society, where we're kind of accustomed to certain things like phones, internet, and we have various jobs and talents that people could do? How would people chase those ambitions if there was no roadblock as far as society and how much money you need to make and stuff like that? It's so interesting. Yeah. There's a lot to talk about with it.
It really is. It's really, really incredible, this show. It's entertaining, it's thought-provoking, and above all else, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun little show, and it's I'm assuming if we got introduced to Kensho, we're going to be introduced to blonde, beautiful babe.
Big boobs. Blonde boobs.
Big boobs. Bloobs.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably see her soon. I mean, we have the 3 established main characters that we seen in the opening, I believe, or an opening or ending. So I think she's the last one.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see her soon.
Yeah, I'm curious. She, just by looking at her, she just seems like the spunky, energetic, I don't know if she's American or not, so she'll be saying like American things, so it'll be English.
She has blue eyes. She's American.
And blonde hair, so she's, yeah.
That's how all anime sees Americans. Blonde hair, blue eyes. She's going to be like half.
There'll be
American,
a lot of
so, yeah.
Desu. Nice body, Des.
Nice idea.
Nice idea. Or from Keijo, your body is very well balanced. I laughed so hard when I heard that the first time, because she too is also blonde hair, blue eye.
Yep.
She's just looking up and down the main character, and then said that, and then the the main character just responds, "Oh, thank you."
Thank you.
She didn't know what to. She didn't know what to say.
Oh man, Keijo is a national treasure. We should protect it
At all costs.
with our lives. But yeah, surprisingly, it's not that much to talk about with this episode because it was just really just saving saving his friend, Tendo saving his friend, them having their them, reconnecting with each other because of their past of Tendo working a job that he hated and always complained about, and Kencho coming to terms that he was being a dick, and it was just that moment. It was a really good talk though. I really like that rooftop scene. Very good. I did think that he was going to die at some point. I thought that when he was going to,
I did too.
when he first said he was going to jump, I said, damn, so this is how it's going to end. Initially, I was like, which I understood, because jumping is his only chance of survival. But I think if I was in that situation, I too would be very scared of falling to my death in that way, and that would probably hinder me from being able to do something like that. Because Tendo's doing this thing with a smile on his face, but I don't think a lot of these people are like Tendo in their optimism with certain things. So I think I would probably freeze up in that type of situation as well. But I mean,
and you also have to remember Kensho only drank water, and like he was hungry and all this kind of deprived, and just I feel like he was kind of like a beaten down, so to speak. And I love the whole art direction of this show and how it kind of showed where you thought that this character was going to die, because the sun was setting and everything was getting darker, and then as soon as Tendo gave him that shot of optimism, the sun came out through the clouds and it was bright as his spirit. So nice.
Yeah. Just, man, I didn't think this show was going to be as good as it's been. When you picked this show and I saw the synopsis, I'm like, zombies. I'm like, okay. I guess we'll see. We'll see what this brings. Never did I think that this is going to be the best show of this season thus far, as far as my experience with the season. Yeah,
I knew it was going to be fun. I didn't think it was going to be thought-provoking.
I'm eager to see what they bring this episode, but I think we exhausted what to talk about with Zom 100 episode 3. Great episode. Standout series amongst the summer 2023 season. Just phenomenal show for what they're able to put through with the setting. Zombie apocalypse thing, we've seen it time and time again. I don't think we've seen it in this light, which is a testament to the creativity that comes with this show. And not only the mangaka, but also what studio is doing Zom 100? Actually, I don't know.
Let me see really quick. It is Studio Bug Films. And believe it or not, this is their very first anime.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. I don't see any other things attached to it. They're called Bug Films.
So Rookie Studio is taking care of this, and it looks, I would say in terms of looks, it only falls short of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is done by Mappa.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know who's the director, but for this to be a Rookie Studio, that's kind of insane.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I wonder if this studio is kind of like, trigger where a famous director just decided to open their own studio, and then boom, there it is. I know, I'd have to look more into them.
I'm looking at the director right now. This director, Kawagoe Kazuki, he's directed, let's see, Summer Blade. Let me look up all his stuff. Blade. I don't know what this show is. Bongo to Alchemist, Ike Bukuro, Westgate Park. He was an episode director for some of that. He was director for Komi-san, so that's his probably biggest series.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was his like biggest series. I think that's the only series where he was. Oh no, yeah. Komi-san was the only series, of course, apart from Zom 100, where he was the sole director, where he was like the main guy. So he's doing a good job.
And Komi-san has some really beautiful looking episodes. Like the first episode I remember was really nice.
Yeah. Komi-san surprised me because I always thought that given what I saw of the manga that it wouldn't translate that great in the anime, but it did. So yeah, props to him. I guess he's going to be one of those guys that is going to make his name as we speak in the industry, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, good for him. I anything he's attached to, I'd be more than happy to watch.
Yeah. Decrepit Storm said, to be clear, I did see a spoiler when I looked up his name, but it wasn't about whether he dies or not. I have no idea about that. Yeah, sure, Decrepit Storm. And my name is Sasuke the Savage.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And C-Tactus doesn't love Ladalita. He doesn't get long and hard for her. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He says the visual of this show works really well. That is impressive. If it is a new studio, yeah. Bug Studio. Be on the lookout, Mappa. You got some competition. Bug Studio is on your ass, boy. We bugs, boy.
Something.
I don't know. Bugs. Bugs. The least intimidating name.
I know. And what's up, Jack?
Bugs Films. Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
So I think it's time to talk about our last show of the night. Oh man.
Yeah.
Mushoku Tensei season. Oh my god, my spelling. Season 2, episode 3.
Well, who wants to start? Okay, I guess I'll start.
I want to preface. I want to preface all me and EA's comments by saying, we didn't pick this show. We didn't pick this show for KOA. Some dead guy picked this show.
Well,
I just want to say that.
To be fair, that's also not true. I did pick it a long time ago.
You did? You picked this?
I did. Okay, listen.
Okay,
explain.
Some guy that's going to be dead picked this show. Because I gotta go to Arizona.
Listen. Let me explain. So, a long time ago, back in the year, when did this come out? 2020? 21?
Yeah, something like that.
So, Mr. C Tactics said that there are some really popular shows coming out, and I feel it would be beneficial if we talk about this show, which was Mushoku Tensei. I knew nothing about it. All I know is it was going to be popular, and I said to myself, you know what? I'll take credit for that. I'll make this my pick. I'll make this my pick for that year. And well, if anybody has listened to KOA in the past, you know how we feel about the show. It's been a rocky series, and it's weird because it's like there's some things I really like about this show, and some things I really don't like about this show.
Yeah.
And like, I don't really feel that much about when it comes to a lot of shows, but this show has me torn so much where it's just like, oh, some things are really good. Oh, I love it. And then you just get the Rudy parts with the underwear over the head and licking the underwear and wearing it as a mask and being a perv. It's just like, just. So anyway, I will fall on this sword, and as you say, Sasuke will soon be dead in the near future, and then this is just going to be the Sasuke votes for KOA show by the time I'm done. So yeah, this episode, God. So let's just get the cat right out of the bag right away. So they rushed the whole Sarah thing. Sarah went on a date with Rudy, and the boy couldn't get it up when it came to the bedroom scene.
The old erectile dysfunction, the ED.
The ED sad.
Pathetic penis.
That was literally his dick as he, whipped it out. He's like, "Okay, baby, you ready?" I swear this never happens.
Oh my God. He's like a teenager. What the hell is going on?
I know, like, you don't have enough hormones in your body. Like, your body's producing so much. You should be, like, you look at a freaking, I don't know, like a shadowy figure that looks like boobs.
It could
and
be
you
like
get erect.
It could be like a tree that has like a hump, and then you be like, oh, an ass, hard.
Right. And you just imagine, your mind just goes to the imagination. And you're just like, oh, I'm ready to fuck. but
I don't know if we have any teenagers in the chat right now, but teenagers are horny. I'm a horny person.
Yeah.
But I know for sure I was way more hornier when I was a teen. It's like, it's insane.
Oh, absolutely. And some of the things you just remember and you think about now that you're like older and you reminisce, you're just like, oh man, I was that horny.
Yeah.
Where I thought that looked good, or I was that horny where I was like in that situation. Oh, it's definitely weird to think about. But oh no, not Rudy. Not Rudy. He has a naked woman laying in bed in front of him, and he just goes, sorry I felt so bad for him because, like, what did she say afterwards? Sarah, she was just like, I just kind of wanted to do this just to repay you for saving my life.
Yeah, she backtracked.
Yeah, and then like she like whispered under her breath, just pathetic.
Yeah, which I'll say this much, because they had a falling out at the end of the episode, where she overheard Rudy is talking bad about her, bad mouthing her. I'm not saying Rudy is in the right for bad mouthing her, but
no,
considering how she left that situation in his moment of weakness, and she basically just condemned him the entire time and made excuses as to her obviously having romantic feelings about him. I don't understand why I don't understand why she felt so betrayed, considering how she left that situation. She left him high and dry. Obviously, he had some attraction to you if he tried to have sex with you. and
Right.
you just get mad at the guy for not being able to, get it up. This is one of the few
Yeah.
times I'll defend Rudy, because the way she left that situation was just so bad. You leave it on a sour note, understandable, but you say under your breath that he's pathetic, and you make excuses as to what, why you even showed up in the first place. That was terrible. Like, you're a terrible person for
Yeah.
doing that. So for
Yeah.
you to
And
take this high road approach at the end of it, which is, I wasn't feeling that.
yeah, I completely agree, because be that as it may, yeah, I understand we were having a little fun poking at Rudy's expense, being a teenager and all. Could you imagine just being in that situation and there's literally nothing you could do? As a guy, that would be so, no pun intended, hard and difficult, and just like a hard pill to swallow, because that's your manhood. You're trying your best to get and do that situation. And some guys, it just gets in their head and then they just can't do it. And I understand when it comes to Rudy, he's depressed. He's upset because Eris, as Shark the Plug said, did him dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that, because when you're not right in the head, nothing can work. And that's one of those situations where he's depressed, he's messed up, and he can't do that. But yeah, I definitely feel like what Sarah did was uncalled for. I'm not at all saying what Rudy said was right. Basically being a drunkard, saying, "Oh, she's good for nothing. I can't stand her." Yeah, okay, and I agree that was out of line.
Mm-hmm.
But still, she didn't do any favors herself by saying what she said. So they're both wrong. They both should apologize, and they should both go their separate ways. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. It just goes to show you that we're dealing with not saying this about Rudy, considering that his mental age is way older than his physical body, but for the sake of argument, we're dealing with teenagers in this case, who don't really have that thought in mind of having empathy for the other side, because him not being able to get it up, we as men understand that's just the thing, that it's not like he wants to go, I don't want to be hard. It's not something he's consciously doing. It's just his body failing him, basically. So for you to kind of condemn him for something that he can't control, that's really, that shows a lack of empathy. But it also, I guess, shows their age, because they're very self-centered, not thinking about the other party in the situation. Rudy wasn't thinking about Sarah when he said what he said, and Sarah wasn't thinking about Rudy when she said what she said and left the way she did. So yeah. We're definitely dealing with teenagers when it comes to this whole situation.
For sure. And what's even worse, well, I guess I won't get to that part yet, but I'll just say, when Rudy got upset over that, he was drinking. Yeah, I get it. He's drunkard. He's upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then that one guy came in, Soldate?
Is that his name?
Anyway, I'm looking it up right now. It's Soldat, Soldat. Heckler.
All right.
I'm just going to call him not Paul, because he's because he's kind of like him in a way, but he's not Paul. So he was getting on his case like he did previous episode. But Rudy, I even feel bad for him here, because it looked like he was beating the crap out of him. But then when you look at his face, he's just barely anything done to him. And it looked like he was hitting him hard. I'm like, is that the hardest you can hit, Rudy? You can't even like make a bruise or make a welt or anything on his face. You're drunk and you're so upset to the point where you just don't care anymore, and you can't even make a scratch on a guy's face.
Pillow punches.
Man. Literally just, you brute, I just imagine like someone just slapping him, going, I can't. Just using the palms and everything. And because I thought his face was going to be really jacked up because all you saw was like the faraway shots. You saw Rudy just going off and just like yelling and being mad. Then you look at his face. Totally normal. Maybe a little scratch around the lip because he did kind of like spit blood, or maybe he cut his lip or something. But I was like, that's it? Damn, Rudy. You disappoint me even more.
A lot of disappointments going in this episode.
Agreed. But I did end up liking Not Paul's character. I really did like him. He apologized for being a dick to him, and then he tried to make it up to him by taking him to a brothel.
Yeah, he's
I mean, at least you could say he tried.
Yeah, you could tell he's the adult because he didn't get mad at Rudy for lashing out the way he did, which it's understandable on Rudy's part considering the shit that he's been given, not Paul has been giving him, but he understood that he was hurting at that time. And he recognized that he was spilling his guts, which is something that he's been kind of advocating for Rudy to do the entire time, because the thing that he's been adverse to Rudy when it came to their relationship was that Rudy was putting on a facade of being happy and always smiling and grinning like an idiot, despite him not actually feeling those feelings of happiness and whatnot. So what he always wanted from Rudy was for him to be true to his nature, I guess. And it wasn't until he was at his lowest that he finally expressed his true feelings and show his anger and punched him and stuff. And he recognized that, and he didn't get angry with him. He didn't try to fight back. He didn't do anything childish like that, because a man is punching you in their face continuously. I don't think we would have blamed him if he would have fought back, but he didn't do that.
Right. Yeah, and he didn't strike back at all. He took those punches, and maybe, as I was saying earlier, maybe it just didn't hurt. He was just like, all right, I'll wait till he tires himself out. All right, I think he's almost done. Okay, now he's crying. All right, I'm going to get him up now.
Oh, my God.
It's just like a kid, you just let them tire themselves out, and then you go, there, it's okay. Yeah.
Reese in the chat. The Crypto Storm said EA's redemption is getting undermined already. The non-rising of Shield Hero. QRW6 says there goes Rudy's manhood. Shark the Plus says Ares did him so dirty. Leaving in the middle of night did a lot more, which that's going to be a topic for us to talk about, but we'll save that for a bit. The Crypto Storm says, what parallel universe am I living in where Sasuke is defending Rudy?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, there comes a point to where, I have my own biases and agendas and narratives against the character that I dislike and whatnot, but it becomes a point to where I can't hide behind those things to where I have to just tell the truth objectively. And I don't do it that often. Listen, I will tell my narratives and I will act as if my opinion is a fact. That's just how I am. But I have to just, it comes a point to where it's too much. I can't sit here and act like every bad thing that happened in this episode was Rudy's fault, because it wasn't. So yeah, when the cards are stacked against Rudy in such an overwhelming fashion, yeah, I kind of got to defend him a little bit. So don't get used to this.
Sometimes you got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, bullies aren't 100% at fault. Sometimes bullies just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But I guess that's just an example of like nothing is always 100% somebody's fault. It's just it is what it is. Like they may make up for 80% or even 70%, but there's a 30% where it's like, where's that coming from? Oh, okay, they have an abusive dad. That's why they're a bully.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, just don't get used to me defending Rudy because where I feel like I shouldn't do it, I won't do it. If I feel like it's an option, I won't do it.
Right. You're not going to defend the panty wearing, licking the panties over his face.
Yeah.
Rudy.
Yeah. Midnight says, Sarah don't know what we know about Rudy. She probably thinks she's not good enough. I mean, that's a factor in how she reacted, but I still think she should have realized that Rudy didn't consciously think, I'm not going to get hard because I don't find her attractive. I don't think anybody would do that. I don't think anybody can control that.
No, it's deep down. It's the male body. There's something holding it back because if a male could be hard 24/7, they would.
A Sony C47 said that adaptation did Sarah dirty. We didn't get why Sarah suddenly left. No, we didn't. And that's something that EA has already embarked on. I do think the relationship between Sarah and Rudy was rushed beyond hell. Last episode, we got that send-off between Rudy and their party. And then this episode, I seriously thought I missed the episode when I watched this at first. Because they went into this episode and they were hanging out. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? Didn't we just leave these guys? Why are we hanging out with them the next episode? And then, it showed that Sarah had romantic feelings for Rudy, scooting closer to him, talking about how she felt comfortable drinking around him and her leaning her head against his shoulder. And I was like, where the fuck did all this come from? Why are we continuously skipping time and not actually showing these relationships? Because we already said that Sarah had a personality that mimicked Eris in the past, where she was very brash, headstrong, and stuff like that. And it's like we're getting Eris, like a fake version of Eris, like Walmart Eris, without any other development for her to be as a soft character that she ended up being, where she kind of, she wasn't as bad as she was at the beginning. We skip all that development and we just get this love-struck Sarah. And it's like, we didn't get any of the actual interactions for this to be a thing that we resonated with. So I don't know if that's a thing that the light novel had that the anime skipped, but it definitely felt like the relationship between Sarah and Rudy wasn't there. It was something that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So
as we said last episode, this has definitely been rushed. Everything's just been kind of weird pacing, and it makes for a very weird episode in conclusion, especially with how it ended. And Vash kind of highlighted it down there in the chat where he basically wanted to off himself.
Yeah, that was the thing in the episode. It's not funny. This is not funny, guys. Suicide is not funny. It was funny in the episode and how quickly he decided to do it. That's what made it funny.
Right. And also, I think out of context, that would also be very random and funny too. But I agree. It's not Suicide itself is not funny, but it's just one of those things where if you saw that out of context and it's just like 1 minute he's sobbing, the next he's trying to stab his throat, the next, out of his hand, and then just that's like something you would see. I don't know, like I guess on a post on some social media where someone's just trying to be funny, and then that's just one of those things. It's a quick little post. You're like, what
Like
the
a
fuck
skit.
is that? That's random.
Yeah.
Right. It's a random funny skit. That's what it kind of reminded me of. I agree. And yeah, that was just so weird in itself. And we didn't even touch base on the fact that, not Paul took him to a brothel.
Mhm.
She did everything in her power to try to do it, but again, it's not her. The fact that, because trust me, she gets paid good money to do what she does. It's in Rudy's mind. He's depressed, and if you're depressed and if you're feeling a certain way, you're not going to be yourself, and you're not going to be able to get it up.
At least she was understanding.
Yeah, because she's probably had people that did that very same thing. Especially, like, if that is your job and that's your profession, I'm sure she's seen everything on the stuff that we could not even imagine. And probably one of those things, yeah, she was understandable. She's like, well, I tried everything I could and nothing.
Yeah.
Here's your money back.
Which I guess speaks to the deep-rooted psychological barriers that exist within Rudy's mind of because we know Rudy to be a hornball, basically. So for him to not be able to be horny when he has naked women in front of him, especially considering his background as being this pervert,
A perv.
yeah, a pervert guy in his previous life. I guess what it does, what the episode did, like, we're making fun of it and whatnot, but I think it shows a deep wound in his psyche to not be able to get hard despite knowing what type of person he is and what's actually in front of him. He has what he believes. I won't say anything about Sarah since she's underage, but for what he believes to be a beautiful girl that's naked in front of him, and he still can't, that's willing to do it with him, consensual, and he's still not able to get hard from that. He goes to a brothel, talks to a prostitute, still isn't able to do it. It shows the psychological wound that Eris left him with when she left him high and dry after they had relations. So,
which kind of makes it seem like, why did they even do it at all? I mean, why not save him? Okay, it still would have affected him if she would have just left without saying anything, left a note, blah blah blah. But the fact that you went ahead and you had to have relations, I feel like that definitely made it worse. I mean, maybe she was curious too, and she wanted to know what it was like because she was also a virgin as well. But I feel in Eris's mind, it doesn't have that psychological effect. Well, in Rudy, it really messed him up. Yeah. Like, we could see how badly it messed him up. Yeah. And it's sad. It really is.
I don't think Eris would know the consequences of her actions going forward as far as how it would affect Rudius and his relationship with other women. But it seems that he just can't get over that fact of abandonment with Eris. So it's actually, this episode was actually good in just showing like the mental state of Rudius with how something in season 1 affected him to this day. So like, that's a good show of continuity and I guess like just character progression when it came to that. I think the only thing that was really bad, we were making fun of the erectile dysfunction thing, but it actually has a play in the plot. The only thing that's bad to me is how rushed things appear to be with the continuous time skips and not showing the relationships of Rudius and his relationships with everybody in full, because like the stuff we seen with Sarah, we could have spent 2 episodes with them building up this romantic relationship between the two, and that would have probably made him not being able to get it up during sex like a bigger thing. But it's just
Right.
we just kind of rush through things. So as far as this show,
Right.
if they would stop rushing through things, I think everything would be translated better, and this show would be received better, not only by me but other people, because I don't think a lot of people are happy with season 2 of Mushoku Tensei as it stands right now.
Yeah.
We just got to stop skipping through stuff. Just let things play out. I don't know why we would be blitzing through the plot and some of these intimate character moments, but it's taking a toll when it comes to big moments like this. Some things are still translating well and we can understand the intention, but you lose out on the impact of certain scenes when you don't show the little moments that should be there to make the big scenes more to stand out more. Like,
Yeah.
we aren't affected by Rudius having erectile dysfunction when he's trying to have sex with Sarah, because we just don't know Sarah that well. We don't care about Sarah, honestly. So
True.
yeah, that has an effect on how we see that scene. It could turn them putting more details in it can make the difference in us laughing at that scene and us actually being heartfeltly saddened by that scene.
Right. And I think that's kind of what shows how we felt about it at the very beginning when we were just poking fun at it. Because when you really think about it, this man is going through some huge mental trauma and tried to off himself. And we turned it into a comedy skit.
Yeah, basically.
That just goes to show you, as you say, we don't have that interest. We have parts that are missing from the story. And if we were to see that scene again, had we had more, I guess, like details and like development, that we would probably feel really bad for him and go, damn. My heart goes out to Rudy. That sucks. I know what he's going through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, things happen the way it did. So we have not Paul extending his hand, being the adult he is, and having a party, having a place in his party for Rudy. So apparently Rudy is going to go on an adventure with these guys, and we're going to have a fun time. And what we seen of the after credits was
oh fuck,
I don't remember her name. I'm sorry.
I don't either. She's an elf that sleeps with people.
Yeah, I'm sorry if this offends people. I'm just gonna call her the whore. The whore is cause like, okay, she's a whore. Like I'm sorry. That shouldn't be offensive because she is one. That's not something that I'm saying because she's a woman or anything like that. She is literally a whore. Like,
right. She sleeps around. She says, she asks one dude, could you tell me more about this person? And if you do, I can sleep with you. Yeah. That's what she does. That's her character.
And she enjoys it. She's a whore.
Right.
This isn't a derogatory term.
Too.
Yeah, this is not a derogatory term used just solely for women. She is a whore. And she probably wouldn't even be offended by me saying that. She would probably be proud, like, oh, I'm a whore. Show me in the bedroom. Like, I don't think she would be too offended by it.
I can't wait till 10 years from now, people use this out of context, try to get us canceled. Here's Sasuke the Savage saying that a woman is a whore.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
I can see it. The fall of KOA.
Let me read these. Sony. Did you know the last 3 episodes is an extra chapter add onto the light novel that on original include on the web novel first release? No.
Nope.
Oh, sorry, it does not include it in original web novel. Nope, I honestly did not know because I did not read anything about it. So, and then we got our boy Phil. Sorry I'm late, my dudes. Just finished the date. Hey, good for you, Phil. Get the likes up so we all can have success in our dating lives. Hey, Phil, congrats on the date. Hopefully the date went well. And
did you get it up, Phil? Philip?
Right. Did you get it up or did you pull a Rudius?
Might be too personal, but happy that happy that you got the date, Philip.
Midnight Gem said, if I was Rudy, I'd probably say to hell with this and try to link up with Paul. He can put Rudy on game, maybe. I mean, Paul can pull some tang. Let's be honest.
But I don't think that's his issue. I think his issue, because he already got the prostitute. So anything that Paul tries to teach him, because I don't know if Paul has ever dealt with something like that. Paul is a hornball to the highest degree. I mean, he cheated on his wife.
He's a man whore.
Yeah. He's a whore as well. So
yeah.
I don't think he's ever dealt with what Rudy's dealt with. So I don't think he's the right guy to go to, because Paul's mentality probably just will be like, hey, just fuck some women. And he's already tried
and you'll forget all about Eris.
Yeah. So I don't think that's really going to help Rudius, honestly.
Vass says that's very misogynistic of you, Satsuki.
Well,
Elanaise, I think that Decrepit Storm's saying the name of the whore. And Elon brought down Twitter so Satsuki could get canceled.
Damn. Apparently,
this was all a ploy.
Alien Lise, her last name is Dragon Road, so that's an easy name to remember. Dragon Road.
Dragon Road. Dragon Road, take me home to the place. Okay.
Paul is a genetic jackhammer. Oh my god. That visual.
I know, just I mean,
he's a baby machine, basically.
He is. He didn't make no babies with Ghislaine, but if given enough time, he probably could have.
Good. Do not taint my beast woman, please.
He kind of already did, though. He's had sex with her.
He did, but she didn't have a 18-year-old mark left on her. She's still good. It was a mistake.
True. The maid and his Zenith. I mean, he could have other children in other places for all I know. Who knows?
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly.
I would not be surprised if Sarah is somehow one of his kids. And you know what would be crazy?
Oh my!
Maybe that's why he couldn't get it up.
Oh my god! Please don't even speak that to existence.
That the universe was protecting him.
I'm just gonna say no. Because if that actually was a thing, then this show is just it's worse than I thought. That would just be horrific.
Vince McMahon would be.
You can't get up? Come on, boy. I still could get it up. I'm in my 70s and I'm rock hard.
Not as good as C's, but
Yeah, thanks to this Blue Chew. Blue Chew, if there was ever a time to, get on us sponsoring you guys, now's the time.
Oh my god, this would have been the perfect segment to talk if we were sponsored by Blue Chew to talk about Blue Chew. we rip on Rudy for like, I don't know, a solid 10 minutes. Speaking of which, this segment is brought to you by Blue Chew.
The way you don't end up like Rudius in this episode, Blue Chew.
Oh my gosh. Totally perfect segue, but we don't have a sponsor. Blue Chew, if you're listening. Thank you, Decrepit Storm. Penis line. Penis line.
It doesn't even show up in my chat. Like, I can see it in OBS, like the overlay for OBS, but I can't see it in my actual chat. Oh man.
Yeah, it must be something to do with some words they just won't say. Whatever.
Bash says, if I was in Rudy's shoes, I simply would have laid down the hammer. Well, in this case, it wouldn't be a hammer. It would be like a
rope,
like a plushie. Like Almighty Thor, but that's just me. Got hacked.
Like a fun noodle.
Well, see, I couldn't be in. Me personally. Fun fact about Sasuke: I'm a grower, so it's not going to work.
You're a grower, not a shower.
Yeah, it's not going to work. So yeah, if I was in this situation to where I'm not up for it. If I'm not bricked up, nothing's happening.
Boring.
Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be a fun experience either way. So, yeah. But I guess the lesson of Mushoku Tensei this week, you can have
Don't be an asshole.
Well, that too. You can have a million women, that look great and whatever, but if she's not that one, then she might not be worth it. So find the one for you. Find your heiress. Find your redhead tsundere asshole, bloodthirsty woman, and have fun with her. That's the lesson of the day. Professor Sasuke.
I think that's a terrible lesson because she left him. She left him, and then she fucked him up mentally.
Well,
so don't get yourself a girl like that, because she'll leave your ass in the middle of the night.
Well, keep 2 eyes on her.
Oh, make sure she doesn't leave. Just wake up, say, "Hey, babe, where you going?"
Yeah.
Why is your what the fuck? Why is your hair everywhere?
Maybe.
I was just gonna go to the grocery store.
Maybe I shouldn't give out lessons. School's closing down. Yeah, personal reasons.
It was a short. It was a short run, but it was well received.
Midnight says he could have tried some mouth game, maybe finger game too. He gave up a little bit too fast. Oh yeah, there's different things you can do in sex rather than just penetration.
That is so true. That is so true because, yeah. I'll just leave it at that. If I start talking more about it, it'll get weird. But the lesson is to find someone who makes you long and hard.
Yeah. Find your Vladilena, I guess. That's better to say.
Oh, find your Vladilena. Find your Ghislaine. Find your, I don't know, Esdev, and you'll be fine.
Well, thinking about the time of the show, it being like this medieval thing, could it be that? Well, no, I can't. Okay, so I can't give this excuse to Rudy, but I can maybe give this excuse to other characters. You remember in Game of Thrones where Jon had his girl, the wildling. I forgot her name.
Yeah. Fuck. What was her name? I want to say it was like Melisandre.
No, it was like Yaj. It was like so weird.
Idrid.
Idrid, yes.
Idrid, yes.
Remember how she was like so enthralled with the thought of oral sex? Like she never knew it. Like maybe that's the thing in the Mushoku Tensei world where it's all penetration. Just bang, bang, bang.
Right.
And there's no like real finesse to it.
Mm-hmm. Like they don't know anything about. Like, could you imagine if
Egret, that was her name. Egret.
Okay, well, I was close, but okay, I'm gonna say this now. If Rudy performed cunnilingus on Eris, she never would have left.
Well, that's a theory. That's a theory. Make that a video. If Rudy gave Eris head, she would have never left.
Yeah. like this is how it would go. Like she has it in her mind, she's gonna have sex, she's gonna leave because she wants to better fulfill herself, blah blah blah, self journey, yada yada. The second Rudy takes that tongue and performs cunnilingus, all that goes out the window. She marries him.
Oh my god.
She puts a ring on him and says, all right, you know, I wanted to do this whole self-travel bull. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to put a ring on it. Let's get married. Do whatever you did just now. Do it again, please. Like forever.
When given head, you're in a different headspace, as they say. As a great philosopher said.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
yeah, that. So maybe okay, you know what? Here comes first time ever Professor EA.
Okay.
Maybe the story is not about finding your heiress. Maybe it's about, in order to save a relationship, in order to find the true love, in order to just be with someone, gotta give them head.
I mean, that's a great.
That's
an actual great life lesson. I was actually surprised that there were men that didn't do that to women. Like,
right.
I was like, wait,
it's
what?
Like they do it to you. You don't think they want the same?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. Honestly, I think I heard like the popular person I heard say it, like DJ Khaled. I was like, you just don't, because I'm a kind of like people pleaser, I guess I would say.
Sure.
So I'm like, you just don't do that? What the? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right. I thought a relationship's supposed to be 50-50. That includes in the bedroom.
Yeah.
But
it's a weird thing.
I mean, that's my advice. If what we learned in episode 3 is what you should not do, but what you should be doing, just give head.
So you heard it here from EA first. If Rudius was, if he gave Eris head, she would still be here.
He wouldn't have this mental anguish. He wouldn't want to try to kill himself in a comical way. He and Eris would still be together right now. He'd be like, sorry, Roxy, fuck these panties. I got me a woman now.
So, okay, EA, you're a time traveler. You're able to go back in time and tell Rudius before he has sex with Eris what he should do. What do you tell him?
Okay. I'm going to get up close to the mic for this one. So, what I would tell him is, okay, Rudy, I know you're a virgin. She's a virgin too. So, when it comes to sex is good. Sex is great. It's wonderful. But here's the thing. There's more than just sex. And here's what it is. You have the cunnilingus.
Mm-hmm.
You have this move.
Mm-hmm.
You have the thing with the fingers. You have the thing with the tongues.
Yep.
You have all kinds of things at your disposal, and this right here is the G-spot.
Ooh.
Make that your best friend, and you'll know. Because when she makes a certain sound and hums a certain way, she's yours forever. And if you can do that, other than flopping on her for 10 seconds and then coming, you'll keep her. Trust me, because men are built differently than women. Men can come in 5 seconds and they'll be satisfied and pleased and they'll go to sleep and they'll be happy.
Yep.
Women are like an oven. You need to preheat it. You need it to be at the right temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you stick in that turkey and it comes out golden brown and delicious and juicy, it's going to be well worth it because you took your time, and it will be fantastic because what you made and what you got is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. That is going to be my advice to Rudy. And that right there, there would be no season 2. Season 1 is just them getting married, living happily ever after, the end.
It's just El Term Mushoku Tensei season 2 until OVA.
Pretty much. But yeah, that's what I would say. And he'd be like, "Are you serious?" I'd be like, "Look at me. I'm a guy that has seen things. I know things. I have someone that's with me. You can do the same thing." And also, I don't know, I would probably show him, this is what happens to you when you don't keep Eris. And it's just him going, trying to kill himself and the dick not getting hard. He would look at that and go, "Ugh, that's me? Uh-huh. That'll be you if you don't do exactly what I say."
We need to
Fuck.
we need to have a beyond. Okay, remember remember those like meth commercials where they would show the effects on meth and like how bad it was? I forgot what they were called exactly, but
I think so.
They would show like somebody on that stuff, and like it would show the after effects or whatever, and it would always be something horrific. Now with you saying what you said, we need to have a similar thing when it comes to not giving your significant other head and how that will affect your relationship going forward. Like the disaster of the future. Like it has to be like this dystopian world where all buildings are on fire, damaged,
Oh my god,
broken. It's like future Gohan's world, androids taking over. It's like it's the worst thing you've ever seen in your life. Just because you made that simple decision to go, "No, I won't do it."
Yeah, exactly. That would be hilarious. Like you just see people at a civil fucking war break out, and just mushroom clouds going on.
We see like the piranha plants from Mario eating people up. Like, where did this shit come from?
Right. What is happening?
They evolved to eat people since you wouldn't eat her out.
She created a plant to try to get herself cunnilingus, and it just turned into this awful mutation. Oh, this may be the best podcast we've ever done.
Might be. Erectile dysfunction is fun to talk about, but I think we said everything there is to say about this episode. I don't think this, we started off this episode being very tongue-in-cheek with it. I don't think this episode is bad. I do think Mushoku Tensei is the worst out of everything we're watching, but that's not to say that it's not good. It's just lacking in comparison to Rurouni Kenshin, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Zom 100, which for those anime to overshadow you, again, it's not bad. But the missing potential comes with the rushing of certain plot points and character relationships, mainly that being Sarah and Rudy and the rest of that party. They just got to slow down.
Yeah.
I think if you slow down, this show would be a lot better. It's not a bad episode. Yeah. It's funny to talk about, but I think what it actually does is shows you the depression that Rudy is dealing with, and just properly mapping out his psyche. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's doing it in a more unique way. I don't think we've ever talked about erectile dysfunction with any anime character on this podcast ever. I don't think we ever said anything like this. Yeah.
Yeah, not like in all seriousness at all. Like, we maybe did it as a joke, but I don't know if someone can go back and find that clip. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So it's not bad, because it's not bad at all. It's just, it's funny to talk about. We're being very facetious with it, but I think this episode did a lot good. There was some bad in there, bad that could be rectified, but overall this episode was I would say above average, but could have been a lot better.
Yeah, definitely felt rushed. Pretty much everything we've already said and talked about. Just good, not great, not terrible either. Just somewhere in the middle.
The Crypto Store said the world of Trigun is what happens if you don't do it. You live in the world of Alabama.
That's what happened because someone didn't give someone cunnilingus, and then that shit happened. Fucking the double $1 billion bounty on Vash's head was because of that.
I don't care. Out of everything we talked about, this has to be clipped this way. I don't know what exactly gets clipped, but this has to get clipped. This has to.
Yeah, I'm going to clip this. I definitely am going to clip this. When C comes back, he's going to be like, "What the fuck did you guys talk about?
Why were you guys talking about Colingus for 20 minutes?" It was already hard enough to explain the whole hentai segment, but I think this segment might be even harder to explain.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Good conversation. Philip says they wanted to rush to the next arc. Unfortunate, but I hope that they take their time with certain things, because like for Eris as a character, I don't think Eris would have been well received if we skipped past her development and we just constantly gave her time skips to get to where she is currently. If we just went,
agreed.
Oh, Eris was, you didn't like Eris before. How about we give you a time skip and now she's more softer to Rudius? It doesn't work like that. We had to see the developments for her to get that way. Why is she changing as a character? In what little ways is she changing? Because that's what you got little by little with Eris. Like, she was learning math, becoming more confident in herself, getting better mannerisms, how to treat people. And it was because she had a bad start and because we saw the little things that she was doing to change herself for the better that we appreciate her character currently. You can't skip past that stuff with Sarah and just expect us to go, oh yeah, this is cool. So
right, I agree.
I'm hoping that they just slow things down and just let the characters breathe and tell the story how it was in season 1, to where it wasn't as rushed as this. Not giving any comparison to the light novel. We both aren't light novel readers of this series, nor manga readers, but we can see that something is off just with our trained eye when it comes to anime. It's just something that you just pick up on. So that's how we feel about it. But that is all of our shows for tonight. 4 shows, 4 great conversations about them. So the last thing I will ask you, EA, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me over at Everything Animated, my channel. I'm currently working on editing up some old Twitch streams that I did of Adoki and putting them onto YouTube just for people to see, just for some content, just for, I don't know, just to have something, a little nibble, because it's been a long time since people have had some EA content on that channel, and I do still plan to do the Rent-A-Girlfriend thing. I've just been kind of busy dealing with a whole bunch of things. I have a teenage son where I have to make sure that his school was all settled, because he started school last week, and that was a huge part of why I was super busy and why I couldn't get into a whole lot of that. And I had my dodgeball tournament, and this is probably going to be a good while before I get back to dodgeball. I'm kind of taking like a mini hiatus from that, but I'll be back on that. So anyway, that should be coming soon in the future. Subscribe to that. I will drop in the chat again, but we also have a Patreon. So if you're new and you feel like you want to support the channel, absolutely, go ahead and go to that Patreon. It's right there for you. And also have what used to be a Twitter, but now it's called a Zitter, a Zyder, an X, or I don't fucking know, but it's there. And, you know, if you want to also follow that, please, by all means, do that as well. Because we'd like to have you on as long as Twitter doesn't self-destruct and then we have to go to some other place. I don't effing know.
MySpace.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring back, dig up MySpace and say, Tom, you left us when we needed you the most. Please be my friend and come back again.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but follow me all there. I do have a Twitch if you're curious about that. I do, as I want to keep a promise to Satsuki, will do Danganronpa. It's all just for me, just time at this point. But when that does happen, you will be the first to know, Satsuki, and then everyone else will know as well. Because if you follow me on Twitch, you will know. So follow me there.
Fun fact: my character that I have currently on my screen in Discord, they can't see it right now because the screen is not on my screen, but she's from Danganronpa.
Oh, nice.
Danganronpa.
Cool. I'll be sure to look forward to that character whenever I get to them.
As for myself, Satsuki the Savage, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Satsuki the Savage, as well as Satsuki the Reactor, which there may be some reactions there soon, as well as Satsuki the Gamer, where I post my VODs from Twitch onto YouTube that are highly edited, or I won't say highly edited, just edited in general, to make it more concise and neat and cool looking for people that are not familiar with me. Cut out all the tangents that I have on my Twitch, and as well you can follow me on my Twitch account, Satsuki the Savage with a DA. Don't even worry about my Twitter. My Twitch though, I'm usually always playing games at Saturday or Sunday around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I play Ace Attorney, currently Justice for All. I play Rain Cold, made by the same people who created Danganronpa. I play Goddess of Victory, Nikke, Booty Shooters, as I affectionately call it. And sometimes I play 2K. And then Persona 5 Royal, which is a hot topic on Twitch. So those are games I play on my Twitch. Chat is usually fun. We're welcoming to new people. So if you ever want to check that out on a weekend, feel free. Fun time. You can show up anytime. You don't have to be at the start of the stream. A lot of people come there in the middle. But yeah, we have fun. On my main YouTube channel, I still had to put out my Insomniacs After School video. I kind of been inspired by a contemporary making a video on a series I like. It's not Insomniacs, but it gave me more inspiration to put out that video. So I'll try my hardest to put that out this week. Other than that, Barbie Boys Wednesday probably.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. I was planning on like posting a picture on Twitter if I did ended up seeing it and I, had my fit on and whatever. But I already said on Twitter, I said if my Twitter updates to where it gets that X logo and it changes to x.com officially, I'm officially off of Twitter. Like I won't be on that site again. So if that happens,
I'm gonna get a TikTok.
Well, it's probably just gonna be Discord for me, honestly.
Okay.
But I'll definitely show you guys the picture if it happens to happen.
Nice.
So it'll probably be from us. I'll send it to a select few people on my server, and then of course the King of Anime chat. But I guess it'll just be for private eyes. The public won't get to see me in my Barbie gear, unfortunately. But
Or it could be a Patreon exclusive.
I mean, if y'all want to do that, you could do it for sure. I mean, it'll be a funny picture. So it's going to be a funny picture, depending on which outfit I go with, because I could go in two different directions. But I think I want to go in one sec direction that you guys will probably enjoy. You'll see.
I can't wait.
Just give me 2 days. Hopefully my stuff comes in that day. Just give me 2 days and then you'll like it. It'll be fun time.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
But to everybody that watched us to this point, we did 3 hours of content. Long ass podcast. Fun podcast though. Shout out to everybody that showed up. Fill Up, Decrepit Storm, Midnight Gym, Vash. Or you went robot EA. What the fuck? EA, what the fuck?
Am I going robot?
You went complete robot. You sound like you were going to issue out a command to like wipe out humanity. Like you sound like stereotypical robot. It wasn't even like your voice was muddled a little bit. You sound like complete robot. What the
Oh no. I guess I'm not supposed to do 3 hours. Oh god.
Did the rest of the chat hear that?
My hardware needed to reboot.
So funny. 10 on the street. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Good night, everybody. John A. Stay away from Robot EA.